We're at the Pyramid in Memphis, Tennessee, as Lewis Tyson is finally on. The fight that no one originally wanted has found a willing and able home here in Memphis, where a week of activities, festivities, parties, and yes, boxing talk have culminated in tonight's showdown between heavyweight champion Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson. But before we get to our main event, we have a two-fight undercard which begins with a 10-round bout between Cuban defector and former 130-pound champion Julio-Casamayor against Juan Arias. After that, it's 122-pound title holder Manny Pacquiao facing former bantamweight champion Jorge Julio. And then the fight we've all been waiting for, Lennox Lewis against Mike Tyson. The questions are all out there, having been asked for days, weeks, months, and indeed years. Can Mike Tyson make it back to the top of the heavyweight division where he reigned supreme from 1986 through 1990? Or can Lennox Lewis put an exclamation point on his illustrious career as champion, which has had 3 reigns from 1993 through tonight? We'll see approximately 2 hours from now. Lewis versus Tyson is being brought to you by the Pyramid Memphis and by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, the undisputed, undefeated king of beers. This Bud's for you. Well, there's been talk all week about ticket woes for the fight here in Memphis, but in fact, the Pyramid is expected to be at or near capacity for the main event. A steady stream of fans are filing in as our preliminary bouts are about to start. Both Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson are expected to arrive at the arena momentarily. So finally, as the promotion has repeatedly reminded boxing fans, Lewis versus Tyson is actually on. And good evening, everyone. I'm James Brown, and welcome to the Pyramid here in Memphis, Tennessee. Well, the fight that has been steeped in controversy, the much talked about Lewis-Tyson fight, is finally upon us. Now, we'll have special guests throughout the evening to help us set the stage, and we start with welterweight champion Vernon Forrest. Congratulations, first of all, you are the welterweight title holder, having defeated the man that many consider to be the pound-for-pound best in Shane Mosley. What was effective for you in that?
I think what was most effective for me was the fact that my career will be determined by this fight. Is it going to be a good result or bad result? Before the fight, Bernard Hopson called me up and he said, listen, your life is going to change after this fight. Which way do you want your life to change? Do you want it to change for the better or for the worse? I knew I wanted to change for the better, so I went out there and did my job.
And you seem to think there's some connection in that train of thought, if you will, as we fast forward and talk about the main event here, Tyson and Lewis. Many think that Tyson really doesn't have a shot because Lewis has got that reach advantage, and he has that very effective and powerful jab. Do you think that'll be the difference, or what will Tyson have to do?
Well, if you look at Tyson's career, Tyson has always been a smaller heavyweight. Look at the Razor Ruddock, extremely powerful jab, extremely powerful uppercut, and he was a much bigger guy. But Tyson handled him twice in 2 great fights. Tony Tucker, Bonecrusher Smith. Throughout his history, Tyson's history, he was able to adjust to what the bigger heavyweights were doing, get in the inside, work his speed and his combination effectively. And I see that happening if Tyson goes back in time. He has to take us back when he was reigning and he was destroying guys as a heavyweight in his early career.
So listening to your line of explanation now, I guess it's pretty obvious who you think will win tonight, and real quickly, why?
I think I'm going with Tyson. Personally, I just want him to win. I think he's good for boxing. A lot of people don't understand that.
Good for boxing.
A lot of people don't understand that, but he's the only fighter in the world can bring masses of people from different ethnic backgrounds, from different social economic backgrounds together and sit under one roof and enjoy a competitive fight. Tyson's the only fighter out there can do it, so therefore Tyson is good for boxing.
All right, we'll find out if in fact that plays out. All right, Vernon Forrest, thank you so very much. And folks, let me invite you who are watching this pay-per-view telecast to participate during tonight's show at keyword Lewis Tyson is on. American Online members will be able to predict who will win tonight's Lennox Lewis-Mike Tyson fight and also vote during the action on who you think is winning. Now let's take it downstairs to the guys who will be calling all the action for tonight's championship bout, our own Jim Lampley and the analyst Bobby Ches.
All right, thank you very much, JB, and what a privilege for Bobby and me to work together this one time in this special telecast, which has been brought together for a fight which is, depending on whom you read, the most anticipated fight of the last 5 years, the last 15 years, or the last 50 years, call it whatever you like. A huge night for the sport, Bobby. What's at stake for Lennox Lewis, for Mike Tyson, and for boxing?
Well, Jim, there's a lot at stake for everybody involved. Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, professional boxing, and more specifically the heavyweight division. Lennox Lewis has the title. He wants to keep that. He wants to keep that in his pocket. Mike Tyson wants to take that away from him. But it's bigger than that. This is about legacies. Both of these fighters are in the twilight of their career, and they want to leave behind a legacy befitting their accomplishments and their careers. Now, having said that, they both had some highs and some lows. This fight would wipe out the lows and escalate the highs to a new place. Now, there's a saying in boxing, as goes the heavyweight division, so goes boxing. Well, this, in essence, is the heavyweight division. Most people view this as the winner being the real undisputed heavyweight champion. So this will bring closure to the heavyweight division, closure and credibility to the title. It's a fight that had to happen, and now it's on.
And if it's a good, clean fight, it should be a great night for boxing. All of us in the sport are hoping for that. In a moment, we'll get ready for the first preliminary bout of the evening. Meanwhile, let me tell you about the other two members of our telecast team tonight. We've brought in Texas referee Lawrence Cole. He has a dossier of 21 championship fights. He'll be available for any interpretations of unusual situations or rules discussions which might arise during the main event and as the evening goes on. And we also have Jim Gray patrolling the arena looking for stories and interviews which will further embellish this great night. Lennox Lewis versus Mike Tyson. Now, the first preliminary bout we're going to show you takes place in the 130-pound weight class. Julio-Casamayor, regarded as one of the top two fighters in the division, taking on Juan Arias of Northern California. And here's the tale of the tape. You can see Casamayor, the former Cuban world champion in the amateurs, a defector from Cuba who has a 2-year age advantage. They're equal in height. A 1-inch reach advantage for Casamayor, who is a southpaw. They weighed in a few pounds over their natural 130-pound limit, and as they enter the ring tonight unofficially, Casamayor has put on 11 pounds, as has Arias, so they're 144 and 143. Rules of the bout with Bobby Chaz.
Tennessee state rules will apply to this fight. Scoring will be on a 10-point must system. The standing 8 count is in effect. The 3 knockdown rule is also in effect. Fighter can only be saved by the bell in the last round. If there's an accidental foul, go to the scorecards after round number 3.
Juan Arias may be familiar to HBO boxing fans from his brave performance, some would say too brave, in a brutal loss to Jesus Chavez on the undercard of a Floyd Mayweather main event in Mayweather's hometown of Grand Rapids, Michigan last year. Arias took a frightful beating in that fight and also absorbed a great deal of punishment in his next one against a fighter named Manzone. Now he goes into the ring as presumed cannon fodder for Casamayor. Looking for bigger money fights after having scraped for most of his career with minor events in places like Fresno, Arias still works in a body shop in a regular job, banging out fenders when he's not in the gym banging out sparring partners. And now here comes Casamayor in his last fight on Showtime, a fight called by Bobby Chaz and Steve Albert and company. Casamayor fought for supremacy in the 130-pound weight class. You don't see him yet. There he comes. Fought for supremacy in the 130-pound weight class against Brazilian Acelino Freitas. Somewhat controversial decision in favor of Freitas. Bobby Casamayor thought he'd won the fight.
You know what? I really thought the fight was closer to a draw, but there were so many fouls, and Casamayor, guilty of many of them. Points were deducted, and there was a knockdown which was questionable, and those points led to a victory for Freitas.
So Freitas became the 2-belt title holder in the division, to the enormous disappointment of Casamayor. He would love to have a rematch with the Brazilian fighter. Most authorities agree it's not likely to happen. So Casamayor now looks elsewhere for opportunity in a division recently vacated by Floyd Mayweather Jr., who has, for the moment, moved up to 135. Casamayor with a brilliant amateur career before coming here to the United States, a part of the Miami group dubbed Team Freedom. One of his stablemates, Eliecer, scored a spectacular victory over Randall Bailey in San Juan, Puerto Rico just a few weeks ago. Now, let's go to ring announcer Jimmy Lennon Jr. for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you, and we welcome you here to the Pyramid in Memphis, Tennessee, as we have a big night of action in store for you, and it's all brought to you by Lion Promotions, Main Events, and Fight Night, Inc., in association with Prize Fight Promotions, and presented by the undisputed King of Beers, Budweiser. This bout coming away, ladies and gentlemen, is sanctioned by the Tennessee State Boxing Commission. The director is Tommy Patrick. Our physicians at ringside, Dr. Michael Miller, Dr. Jerry Floyd, and Dr. John Brody. Our timekeeper at the bell is Roddy Cardoni. Keeping count of the knockdown, Stephen McAdoo. Introducing to you our three judges scoring the bout from ringside. From Franklin, Tennessee, Richard Barth. From Chat, Tennessee, Sean Corbett. And from Franklin, Tennessee, we have Ken Whitehead. And the third man to the ring, the referee in charge of this bout, he'll be giving instructions after the introductions. From Pittsboro, North Carolina, Bill Clancy. All right, fans, here we go. The first of our special attractions coming away, brought to you by Cedric Kushner Promotions and Team Freedom Promotions, is a junior lightweight special attraction scheduled for 10 rounds of boxing. Introducing to you first on my right, he is fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black trunks with gold trim, hailing from Napa, California, by way of Saluya, Jalisco, Mexico. His weight 132 pounds, his record 33 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, with 27 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the hard-hitting Juan El Marro Arias. And his opponent across the ring on my left, fighting out of the red corner in this 10-round attraction, wearing blue trunks with black trim. He is fighting out of Miami, Florida, by way of Guantanamo, Cuba. His weight 133 pounds, his record 26 wins, 1 loss, 16 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Olympic gold medalist and former WBA super featherweight champion of the world, introducing Joel El Cepillo Casamayor. And once again, Bill Clancy, our referee in charge, now to give instructions.
All right, gentlemen, we went through this in the locker room. We're scheduled for 10 rounds. We're going by the rules of Tennessee. 3 knockdown rule is in effect. Standing 8 count is also in effect. Gentlemen, if you go on the belt line on both fighters, it's a good punch. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands. Any questions here? Any questions here? Good luck, buena suerte. Touch him up. Ready, my man? Ready, sir.
Casamayor, trained by the familiar Joe Goosen and Gary Sullinger, both manages and trains Juan Arias, whose hometown is Napa, California.
We ready?
Spent much of his career fighting main events in Fresno. Casamayor, as you heard from Jimmy Lennon Jr., former Olympic gold medalist. So he is high quality and expected to get a victory here, which will propel him back toward bigger fights in the division down the road. But Arias is tough.
Casamayor is very quick, and his speed generates some power. He's very slick and a very difficult southpaw to hit cleanly.
Straight left hands by Casamayor, backing Arias up. Arias was hit by 523 power punches, or excuse me, 523 punches overall, 365 of them power punches in his battle with Jesus Chavez. That's the most power punches ever landed against a fighter in this division, according to CompuBox numbers, and a mark of what a brutal beating he took that night from Chavez, who is a vicious body puncher.
And that is the type of fight, type of punishment that you just cannot have that many fights like that. It's just the type of thing that will shorten your career, if not your life.
Fortunately for Arias, as he comes in here tonight, Casamayor is not regarded as a super big puncher, not a one-punch knockout puncher, but he has been improving his power with both hands, Bobby.
And that's right, and not only that, but speed times mass equals destructive power, and he's not real big, but he's very quick. So when he gets there often and well, that speed helps generate the power.
Now Arias starts to come back, throwing to the body, and one chopping right hand on the head. You can see that Arias is awkward but aggressive.
One of Casamayor's most deadly things is he's very accurate with that left hand. He throws it down the middle, he brings the uppercut up from the outside like that, and he throws it around.
Hold him down.
But he's very accurate with it.
Break! Step back. Cabezas, watch your cabezas. Watch your heads. Box.
Referee Bill Clancy throwing in a little amateur Espanol there. Cabezas, watch the cabezas.
Stop. Box.
So their heads are bound to clash from time to time. Southpaw to righty, sometimes that happens. They're leaning over, the lead foot is in front of each other as opposed to on opposite sides. Causes a problem. I hate fighting southpaws.
See how willing and game Arias is, ignoring the fact that Casamayor landed seemingly at will for much of the first 2 minutes and coming back throwing hard.
And Arias just now started going to the body, was a little more effective, and allowed some of his punches to free up upstairs, but he's got to be more active.
10 seconds. Tiempo!
As we go to the corners where Spanish can be used, our interpreter is Ray Torres.
You have to put pressure on him. Don't try to just put the pressure on the face, the body also. Then after the face.
We got a bucket right here. Let's put it right under here, please. Thank you. Open. Okay. Use your jab.
What I don't want you to do is I don't want you to stand straight in front of him. Now, what did we talk about? We talked about if you're on the way in, keep your head low, throw that straight right hand to get inside, and then I need those hooks to the body, okay? You're staying right in front of him. I need you to step over on that angle and dig to that body, and we'll slow him down a little bit. Okay? Come on.
Let's go, Blue. Let's go, Joe. Let's go, Blue corner.
Well, Bobby, I'd have to say the headline from between rounds is that Joe Goosen's Spanish has improved dramatically since his years of training the Ruelas brothers.
I was enjoying that. I really was. Nice left hook to the body by Arias. A double left hook to the body, and there he tries a third. Does not come back to the head.
Arias won 23 of his first 24 professional fights before the loss and the draw in the last two. Stepping way up in class when he fought Chavez and staying at a slightly higher level against Monzon. Now Casamayor feels free to just bang away, throwing punches more liberally than might usually be the case for a boxer like Casamayor. Obviously, he doesn't think at this point that Arias can hurt him.
Well, you know what? Right now, too, Arias is keeping his head still. He's not bending to either side, slipping any of Casamayor's punches, and he's not getting through to him cleanly to give him respect. You got to make a man get some respect for you.
Cabezas.
And now they have made contact with the foreheads. You see Casamayor looking at his glove to see if blood was flowing. No blood, so he goes back to work. Good right hand over the top by Arias. Backs Casamayor up.
Arias is a roughhouse type fighter. He'll hit you from every angle, under, over, on your hips, top of your head. He really doesn't care. And he can throw a lot of punches.
Arias just bullying Casamayor back against the ropes. And for the moment giving as good as he gets.
Trying to shut down the distance, it appears, of Casamayor, not allow him to stay on the outside.
Now we've got a cut from the accidental headbutt.
Accidental headbutt. Okay? Watch your heads. I got an accidental headbutt to cause a cut.
So we'll try to get a look at the cut on Casamayor's head, which referee Bill Clancy has immediately ruled came from an accidental headbutt. And we'll see if all of Casamayor's vast experience will help him to fight through the distraction of whatever damage has been done by the butt.
Whatever the butt damage is cannot be that big because I can't find it.
Yeah, it's certainly not like last week's Kasim Rahman butt, for which he required no paint-by-numbers search.
No, in slow motion, that lump swelled, and I watched it in slow motion actually moving, and it was incredible.
Punch off the angle. Punch off the angle.
See, Arias cannot win this fight going backward. His style is not conducive. He cannot win going backward. He can't get any power in his punches. Casamayor, though, can box going backward, side to side, but when he's coming forward, he's even more dangerous.
Round 2 of a roughhouse fight so far between journeyman Juan Arias of Northern California and former amateur star Julio-Casamayor, once from Cuba, now a proud American living in Miami. About 10 minutes ago, tonight's heavyweight challenger, former two-time champion Mike Tyson, arrived here at the Pyramid. Tyson, who has stayed in a private home in a quiet neighborhood during his 9-day tour of duty here in Memphis. Being brought to the arena here, there was an official Tyson hotel at the gambling resort of Tunica, Mississippi, where 100 rooms were reportedly set aside for Team Tyson, but they were never used because Mike elected to stay in a private home here in Memphis, as did, incidentally, Lennox Lewis. They were separate from each other the whole time. They even had an agreement to rent videotapes from separate Blockbuster outlets.
That's amazing. Take a replay of the headbutt. They just come in once again. Left foot to right foot, southpaw, orthodox boxer. They leaned in, head slam. Occupational hazard.
Round 3 of a scheduled 10. Julio-Casamayor looking to gain a victory, a confidence builder after his loss to Acelino Freitas in the big 130-pound unification fight which took place earlier this year. How disciplined a body puncher is Casamayor, Bobby?
You know, Casamayor is pretty good. He's been disciplined to have patience, go to the body, go to the head. When he has his man hurt, he doesn't strictly head hunch. He's really a complete boxer, puncher, counter puncher.
And you just saw the counter punching talent right there as he perfectly caught Arias with a right hand counter as Arias was mounting his attack.
He steps around so effortlessly, it's just amazing. He steps to either side and fires with whether the right hook or the left hand down the middle, and he does it very accurately.
He seemed to have some big chances down the stretch against Freitas. If he had had more confidence in his punching power, do you think he might have gotten Freitas out of there?
No, I really don't think so, Jim. I think what it was his respect for Freitas' power early on, put on notice that I can hurt you. And I think that respect made him hesitate just enough to lose the fight.
Casamayor showing you his versatility against Arias. Sometimes he leads, sometimes he follows. Body shot there, and Arias starting to drop his guard as Casamayor seems to be bothering him with the body shot.
He's throwing that uppercut right through the solar plexus, left uppercut. It's a little like a bolo punch, but you watch, once Arias drops his hands to cover that left hand's going to come right down the middle.
And Casamayor now is hip to the game of those overhand right-hand lunges by Arias, as you saw him block the punch twice with his glove. So Arias goes back to the body himself.
Beautiful straight left hand right down the middle by Casamayor.
You can be impressed with Arias' chin, if not his wisdom.
Well, I'm going to second guess the wisdom part, but the chin I am impressed with. He's not slipping Arias to either side as his corner said, slide to one side or the other, then come back with a counter, which will put him out of harm's way to a degree from that left hand, which is smoking him right down the middle.
I would almost think Arias was trying to steal this round with the late flurry. And as they again go to the corners, let's join the other member of our announce team, Jim Gray, for more on the Tunica, Mississippi situation I was discussing before. Jim, what's up?
Well, Jim, you brought it up a little bit. By the way, good to be with you. Of course, these two fighters went about 30 miles away and they rented houses. And it turned out that both Mike Tyson and Lennox Lewis, well, they rented houses on the same block. So there was a negotiation for that. There's been a negotiation for everything. One said they signed the lease at the end of March. The other said April 2nd. Turned out that what they had to do, Jim, was both of them had to move. So there would be no confrontation. Nobody would have their training schedules or running schedules. Or if they had cooks or people coming, there was just absolutely no way they were going to let these two guys run into each other on the street. Let's go back to Jim.
First, last, and deposit on that first set of houses. Well, it's an expensive fight all the way around, isn't it?
I'll tell you what, I have never in my life seen anything like it, but nothing surprises me anymore, Jim. It really doesn't.
The heavyweight championship fight from Alice in Wonderland.
Time, my time, my time, my time.
Bill Clancy, referee, calling time.
Time, let's go. Time in, box. Watch your head.
Not happy with Gary Sullinger in Juan Arias' corner and the amount of time that it took for Arias to come back to combat. Body shot festival right there.
Yeah, both fighters staying exclusively to their body for 5-6 punch combinations.
Gives you an idea of what the two trainers might have said between rounds.
Well, certainly body punches, especially with a good mover with great legs like Casamayor, would be effective. And, you know, conversely, any puncher gets hurt to the body, he's not going to punch as well.
Logic tells you that if Casamayor was able to weather Freitas's punching, he's not likely to go down against Arias unless he makes a big mistake.
That's true, but what happens sometimes when you don't respect the fighter as much, that's exactly what happens. You get lax and you make that mistake.
So far, Casamayor doing a good job of minding his business. Hasn't allowed the distraction of the one headbutt incident to have affected his rhythm.
You'll notice too, when Casamayor unloads, he brings his hands back high, he ducks his chin into his gloves, keeps his chin down. Excellent defense.
No, stop.
One of the common traits of the great Cuban amateurs.
Cuban amateurs always very offensive minded, and they see the left uppercut to the body.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hey, come to me, Juan. You okay? Okay?
Boxing fans will recognize the standing 8 count in effect here. Casamayor goes right back to the body, thinking that he might be able to finish Arias with the same kind of damage that began this flurry.
Well, that's how he got him there. He hurt him to the body. He almost went down. He sucked it up, but standing 8 count ensued.
And now Arias takes advantage to counter back to the head and lands 2 or 3 big winging shots upstairs.
He's still a little weak from that body shot, though. You can see him covering up inside. But Casamayor should take advantage here and go upstairs now. Unload up top, see what happens.
What's Casamayor's best finishing punch?
His best finishing punch is usually the left hand down the middle or up the way he's ripping it up to uppercut wise. But he's got a decent right hook, and he uses the left hand in so many different ways.
Right on the chin, that winging left hand shot by Casamayor. Arias comes back and lands a punch flush on Casamayor's jaw. But you can tell that Casamayor doesn't have any respect for Arias' power. He just keeps working offensively.
Especially right now because Arias is hurt to the body, he's weakened, and he cannot muster up the power shots.
Quit the yapping at me. Quit the yapping, you're out of here. You're out of here. Watch your heads. Box, time it.
Bill Clancy threatening to heave Gary Sullinger, the trainer and manager of Juan Arias.
You're doing your job. I won't have to say anything.
It's not a foul.
She's not pulling him down. That's bullshit. All right, well, the referee is going to evidently give Casamayor the favorite treatment, okay? If he's going to fight you dirty, you're going to have to give it back to him.
Okay, it doesn't matter how many rounds, you got to hit him. Yeah. And move him back. Push him back, make him go back.
Adentro, lo vueltas, pega, lo vueltas, pega.
We'll see that wicked body shot, left uppercut, right, left of the solar plexus, and you see the knees bend and the little buckle right there. Arias goes back into the ropes, almost goes down. Ropes may very well have saved him.
Let's go blue, let's go red.
Another angle. There it is, right underneath the rib cage. And trust me, ladies and gentlemen, that does not feel good.
So apparently Gary Sullinger's complaint on behalf of Arias is that Casamayor is pulling Arias' head down from behind. You see any sign of that, Bobby?
Well, a little bit, and I think there were a couple of shots that were borderline just headed a little low, but nothing blatant. Some of it just has to do with styles, and right hook's missing. You pull the head down, and just keep firing.
Casamayor losing his balance. Arias tries to go right after him, hunting and pecking to see if he had actually hurt Joel.
That was more of a balance shot coupled with some tripping, I think.
Yeah, I think he had his foot on Casamayor's front foot.
Another problem with southpaws, they step on your feet and you step on theirs on a regular basis.
Casamayor pot-shotting as he moved backward. Arias just driving in like a football fullback, pounding his body up the middle. Puts his shoulder into Casamayor and drives him into the ropes.
But not really throwing anything effective or purposeful. He's just hitting arms and elbows and gloves, not looking good at all.
Stop! Break! Step back, step back, step back. Box.
One thing about Arias, you can't say he's not in great condition. Takes a ton of punishment, throws a lot of punches, keeps on coming.
Got to give him his due there. Seems to have a little mouse developing under his right eye as well.
Stop. Break him,
Nothing serious, but a little swelling.
Box. Break! Step back. Step back clear. Step back. Step back. Box. Break! No punch. No punch. Step back.
Casamayor taking a little bit of this round off. Not really being as effective as he was in the last round. Not the same combinations or power in them.
Fifth round of the scheduled 10. Both fighters throwing mostly arm punches in this round, which is something to see when both guys are tight.
Fatigue makes cowards of us all. I think Vince Lombardi said it best with that. There is no question about it. And nowhere is it more prevalent than in a boxing match.
And again, the heads clash, and this time it's Arias who gets the worst of it as he's checking his right eye, pulling away, and Casamayor goes forward to attack.
You know, that little sequence there was almost like target practice. Casamayor had his hands down and hit Arias at will.
Dropping his hands to his waist, which tells you everything you need to know about what Casamayor thinks of Arias' power. And he takes a clean shot right on the jaw.
Had there been a bit of a better punch, Casamayor could have paid dearly for that.
Yes, segundo. No knockdown. Arriba.
Tell you, it's one thing to be confident, it's another to be arrogant, and I got a hunch that Joe Goosen is going to tell Casamayor to get his hands back up.
Sounds right to me.
He's got nothing. What round is this?
I don't know. Find out in a second. Well, there you go. It's got to be 6. 6. It's 6. All right. Okay. Okay, now. No ponga tus manos abajo.
Don't lower your hands. You're getting fancy.
No solamente izquierda, okay?
Yeah, just with your left. Use your right and make the left hooks count.
Ahora es el tiempo.
Okay, now's the time to throw combinations.
All right. Trabaja tu jab también.
You got to work that jab.
Pero presión.
But you know, put a lot of pressure, intelligent pressure.
Okay. Pícalo los pinche úperos, ganchos, todos, all right? Tu cabeza en tu hombro. ¿Cómo está?
Corner, seconds down.
People have found various ways to entertain themselves in the days leading up to the big fight here in Memphis. One of the seconds in Casamayor's corner, Ilan Haim, has a whole new hair color today from the one that he sported yesterday. Orange yesterday, black today.
Too much time on your hands.
It's been a long wait for the fight. And you did indeed hear Joe Goosen telling Joel Casamayor not to be so casual and to get his hands back up, but there's no intensity in Casamayor's corner. Obviously, they think they're here for more or less a walk in the park.
Well, they realize their fighter is the cream of the crop in his division. He's one of the very best. Certainly, he's the better talent in the ring tonight, but they don't want him to be sloppy, make mistakes. There's no sense taking any extra punishment. You don't have to.
be interesting to see if Casamayor cannot reel in a possible rematch with Acelino Freitas. And there's a low blow by Arias, and Bill Clancy is immediately going to warn against it. If he can't get the rematch against Freitas, will Casamayor stay at 130, perhaps frozen out of the title picture? Or will he go to 135 where there might be so many fights to be made? Floyd Mayweather Jr., Jose Luis Castillo, who has reason to believe that he recently bested Floyd Mayweather Jr. in Las Vegas. Various other star fighters there at 135 with whom Joel could make some money.
You know what? That's not a bad idea for him. I'm sure he can hold the weight. But at 130, there's still a lot of good competition until eventually he gets back in the ring with Freitas, which may eventually have to happen.
Time.
That was south of the border for sure.
He pulled him down, he went low. It's my time.
And you heard Bill Clancy saying that
Take your time, okay?
Arias pulled Casamayor down, forcing the low blow. This is going to make Gary Sullinger even angrier over in Arias' corner, since he's the one who's been complaining that Casamayor pulls Arias down.
Juan, you cannot pull him down. He's going to hit you low. Don't pull him down. Don't pull him down. Let me know when you're ready.
This is a very decisive referee, I'll tell you that.
He's taking charge very quickly, not only with the fighters, but with the corners. He's a no-nonsense type of guy.
Here's the replay.
Well, watch. When Arias throws the left hand
How much time I got?
right behind his shoulder. Oh, no, that one. There it is. The left hook behind the head, and it's almost simultaneously pulling the head down. That one's a close call, I got to be honest with you.
You know, he was pulling the head down, but I don't think that caused the low blow.
I think the low blow was headed there anyway, and it just happened to be an afterthought.
Ready? All right, listen to me. Don't pull
Looking
him down,
across the ring at Arias' corner,
out.
Gary Sullinger's got a look on his face that seems to say, why did we come to Memphis?
Well, an opportunity presented itself. He has to take a shot.
Look at the will and the gameness and the courage of Juan Arias, who just won't take no for an answer against a superior fighter in Joel Casamayor. The clock was stopped for 1 minute and 8 seconds on the low blow. Arias, of course, could have taken as many as 5 minutes. Bobby, I've never seen a fighter take the full 5.
I have never seen a fighter take the full 5. My opinion is if they take the full 5, they're probably going to quit.
Formal warning. First formal warning, Joe. First formal warning. Keep your punches up. You okay? I got my time.
And obviously Arias is thinking, hey, he threw 2 low blows in the round and still no point deduction. What do I have to do?
Well, this is the first formal warning, so after one more of those, the points will start being deducted. Nice body work then going up to the head by Arias, and Casamayor just leaving his hands down like he just doesn't care.
If Arias had any real power, Casamayor might be the one who was wondering why he came to Memphis.
That would be correct.
He's allowing himself to get hit. And it's not a good idea, regardless of how superior you may be to the opposition.
I agree.
Water and spit bucket. What are you learning, Hovind? Huh?
Fucking Tyson.
I understand. What are you learning? What did we already learn? It's going to be a dirty fight. You've got to give it back to him. He's letting him get away with the headbutts. He's letting him get away with the low blows. Okay, that little warning there. He's not going to take points away.
Keep it clean,
it's going to cost.
Keep it clean.
Jesus Christ, you're beautiful, ref. Listen, I know you don't like.
You understand? I need you to be in control, but strong, hard. Inside, don't wrestle with him. Don't wrestle with him. Punch him.
Here's the low blow. And that's just below the border. There may be a piece of his glove touched the belt, but that was well below the belt line for the majority of the glove anyway.
Box.
Well, Arias' corner pleading with him to get dirty as well. This could be ugly.
Well, if you believe Juan Arias, there is a potential unseen benefit to getting hit with low blows. After years of attempting to conceive a child, Arias and his wife finally achieved success and became mother and father of a brand new little girl after he was hit with what he said were several low blows against Jesus Chavez. And he says he thinks it's no coincidence that the low blows might have shaken something loose for him. Now, we hear a lot of strange things in boxing, Bobby. Is that number one?
Well, I'll tell you what, if it's not, it's really up there. That might be, we might need a medical study to research that.
It's definitely in the top 5. Call the AMA. Seventh round of a scheduled 10.
Wait, no, stop. Break clean, step back. Box.
Juan Arias showing courage and stick-to-itiveness while outgunned technically against the excellent Julio-Casamayor. Casamayor seemingly cruising toward an easy decision, but it's a foul-filled fight, and anything could happen down the stretch.
And especially at this distance they're at right now, Arias cannot be effective from here. Julio-Casamayor, much quicker, much more accurate, better combinations all around.
No, stop.
I have to imagine if I were Joe Goosen, I would love to see Casamayor fight the rest of the fight from this range.
Down, up and down.
He's got enough in the bank that I think that Arias is past the point of no return. So we need to knock out a multitude of knockdowns, which I don't think he has in him.
Casamayor popping with the clean shots.
Stop. Break. Box.
Is it a blow to Joel's confidence if he can't knock an easy target like this out?
No, some guys you just can't knock out. No matter how many times you hit a guy like Rocky Marciano, you might even get him down, but you're not going to get him out. Some guys you just don't knock out, and this might be one of those.
Bottom line is if Jesus Chavez couldn't knock him out with all the punishment he put on him, it may not be possible.
No reason to believe that you have to knock him out anyway. He's pitching a shutout, putting on a boxing clinic. He doesn't get paid anymore if he knocks him out.
Watch your head.
Again, the uppercut by Casamayor.
You see what appears to be a knot on the right side of Arias' head.
Yep. He's got one of those Hasim Rahman autograph hematomas right on the top of his forehead on the right side. And Gary Sullinger going to work over there on the far side with the inswell. You'll see it in a moment.
Get rid of this guy. I don't want to tell you no more. Take this guy out. Take him out. What does that say?
What round? Okay, this 8 home. We got 3 to go. I know that. Listen, I know the headbutts are taking their toll, Hovind. We knew he was going to do this, right? Right? We knew he was going to headbutt you. We knew he was going to hit you in the nuts. What do you got to do? Huh? I know, but you got to do it. You're waiting for the referee to help you, and the referee's not going to help you. You hear me?
Let's go red corner. Let's go blue corner. Let's go. Accidental headbutt. Let's go, blue. Time. My time. Let's go. Time in. Let's box.
From Arias' corner, a ring doctor was asking referee Bill Clancy if he was aware of the hematoma on the top of Arias' head, and Clancy matter-of-factly said, I got it, accidental headbutt. Arias tries to goes back to work to the body, and Casamayor counters him perfectly and takes him right out of it.
Well, Casamayor now too, much like Evander Holyfield, has another target to search for. And that big knot on Arias' head.
Break clean. Break. Up. Box.
Come on, no esperes.
Break. Step back clean. Box.
Now Arias tries an uppercut. Casamayor says, no, I'll show you how to throw the uppercut.
I think he hurt Arias to the body again. You notice all the punishment that Arias is taking the head, doesn't really flinch, but some well-placed body shots, he buckles in two.
Some guys you just can't hurt to the head.
Hands are free.
is all done. Down he goes on an accumulation of punches from Casamayor.
5, 6, 7. Hey, come to me, Juan. You okay? Go back.
Well, okay may be a stretch, but certainly he's dead game. Let's see what kind of a finisher Casamayor is.
I think it's all academic from here. And
here comes the towel. Gary Sullinger's seen enough. And Joel Casamayor gets a relatively easy 8th round TKO victory over outclassed Juan Arias of Napa, California.
Get his teeth in. Right there. Huh? Beautiful. No, yeah. Okay, all right, good. And the water.
Arias, after winning 23 out of 24 fights to get himself into position to be on television on HBO against Jesus Chavez, has now gained a loss, a draw, and a loss for his trouble in stepping up in class. And as a guy with a brand new baby and a good job in a body shop, might want to consider checking into other areas of his life.
You know, it's a good possibility. The only consolation in moving up and losing is that he probably got paid a little more because he faced better competition. But he was so outclassed that I don't think he won a good minute of any round.
And it's hard to imagine how he would get another paycheck like this after this demolition by Joel Casamayor.
That's right.
And now Casamayor looks down the road to future business. As we mentioned, his desire would be to get a rematch with Acelino Freitas for the 2-belt championship at 130 pounds. But most experts agree Freitas is unlikely to make the fight. In fact, Casamayor's advisors told us yesterday that they had offered to fight Freitas in Brazil and were told no way.
Well, I'll be honest with you, tough fight. I won't have to do it again either.
Here's a look at the finish, Bobby.
He's a sharpshooter, Casamayor. He works underneath and he hurts him to the body again. There's the right uppercut. Again, he's not missing with many punches. Hits him with the straight left down the middle, following up. Crisp, clean punches. Nice combination. Started with body work, though.
Looked like Arias was pretty much out on his feet after the uppercut.
You know what? I think that's correct. The body shot hurt him, then the uppercut really snapped his head back. And that punch pushed him into the ropes. You see his legs bend. They're really not there. They're not under him. So now it's just a matter of accumulation, taking effect, right hook, left hand, and follow him to the floor.
Satisfying finish for Casamayor. Looking for a very positive feeling coming off of the loss to Freitas. And this will send Joel back in the right direction. And I'll watch the white towel sail in from, and there's Gary Sullinger getting ready to throw it. Interleague play and a perfect strike right between the two fighters.
He put the towel where he wanted it.
All right, let's go to ring announcer Jimmy Lennon Jr. for the official particulars on the victory for Joel.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 1 minute 44 seconds in round number 8. Our referee in charge, Bill Clancy, recognizes the corner and stops the contest. The winner by way of technical knockout, Joel El Cepillo Casamayor.
So Joel Casamayor gets the victory to extend his overall record to 27 wins, 1 loss as a professional, coming off his sensational amateur career. He won the gold medal at Barcelona in 1992 and now will set his sights on another title shot, either at 130 pounds or perhaps up the ladder at 135, where there may be more and better economic opportunities. Certainly we'll be seeing him again at a world-class level in the future. So from Bobby and me at ringside, let's go back up to our host, James Brown.
So Joel Casamayor looked awfully impressive indeed, Jim, as he looks for bigger and better things. Lightning quick indeed. As we take a look at the nighttime aerials of the skyline of Memphis, Tennessee here. Sanyo is proud to bring you aerial views of Memphis from the brilliantly illuminated Sanyo lightship. Sanyo set to compete. And folks, that is exactly what we are hoping will take place later. Speaking of competition, that it will be an excellent one indeed when the main event comes your way. That will feature Lennox Lewis putting his titles on the line to take on Mike Tyson. Lewis looking to cement his legacy as a heavyweight champ in history, for indeed looking to take on the dangerous one, Mike Tyson. That fight yet to come here at the Pyramid in Memphis, and still to come, it'll be hard-hitting Filipino Manny Pacquiao taking on Jorge Julio in a 122-pound title fight. And that, of course, will be followed by Lennox Lewis taking on Mike Tyson. Moments ago, Lennox Lewis arrived some 30 minutes after Mike Tyson, looking just as focused as he's been all week long, knowing that he's got a dangerous opponent, but then that's when he's done his best. Interestingly, though, Lewis, a little special treatment, searched and frisked, as is to be the case with everyone coming into the arena. He was checked, no exception for Lennox Lewis. But folks, to the best of our knowledge, from what our cameras saw, when Mike Tyson arrived a half hour earlier, he was not frisked. But Lewis, unperturbed by it all, says he will do his damage in the ring. Frisk me now because I will do the damage later. That's at least what he's been saying, and certainly as he shared with us in our fighter meeting a little earlier. I'm smiling right now because I'm joined by Samuel L. Jackson, who was giving me directions earlier to get my hand up on the microphone, so I'm doing a better job of that. Look, you are well known to sports fans, boxing fans as well. I mean, why the interest in this heavyweight championship match?
Oh, this is the fight that everybody's wanted to see for a very long time. You know, Lennox is claimed to be the best in the world. We knew Mike was the best in the world at one time. Mike didn't duck anybody. He fought everybody. He knocked people out. You know, Lennox has had a bit of controversy in his career about the way he's fought people. You know, sometimes he shows up to fight, sometimes he doesn't. If he uses all the skills that he has that are available to him, you know, he might be able to keep Mike off of him. If Mike comes in as the Mike that we know, Mike will swarm all over him. And Lennox has been knocked out by lesser opponents. We know this.
Without a doubt, Oliver McCall for sure.
Yeah.
We know that well. Look here, is it hoping against hope that Mike Tyson will deliver the same kind of power and speed that you recall from some 10 years ago?
I think that somewhere inside of Mike, he remembers who he was, that skill is still there. He hadn't used up all the reserves that are in that battery that we know is Mike Tyson. I mean, he hadn't fought that many rounds in the last few years. Sure, you lose some things, but the resilience that, you know, he has, the fact that he hadn't had to fight really strenuous fights means that he should have something left, that we should be able to see some signs of the Mike Tyson of old, if it's nothing more than, you know, his hand speed once he's inside. Once he's inside and gets close to you, you know, Mike can hurt you. And that's what we're looking forward to. We're looking forward to seeing just what Lennox does with an opponent that's as dangerous as Mike. He hasn't fought anybody that's as unpredictable, that's as erratically dangerous as Mike can be.
So you're looking for some pain to be dished out. Last question. Who do you like and why?
Well, you got to like Lennox because Lennox has used his skills, and he's used them wisely. We watched him put people at the end of his jab and deliver the best punch he's ever delivered in the last fight. You know, I asked him, I said, is that the best punch you ever delivered to somebody? I ran into him in a football game, and he said he had never hit anybody that well, set him up that well before. Mike's not going to be standing there like that. So we'll see what happens. And maybe Mike will. We'll all be shocked. But, you know, this is the fight we wanted to see. That's why we're here, and that's why we come to see it, because it is an unpredictable sport.
Did anyone ever tell you you're pretty good?
You know, I get a little juiced about these things, man. I'm just glad to be here.
Samuel L. Jackson, we're juiced, and we're hoping that we're going to have a reason to be juiced when the main event comes our way as well. All right, folks, let's check in with the other member of our announce crew, Jim Gray.
Well, thank you very much. It's a very interesting scenario because the referee tonight, Eddie Cotton, has been called by Lennox Lewis's trainer, Emmanuel Stewart, the most important referee in the history of boxing. Eddie Cotton is 54 years old. He brings in quite a bit of size as we take a look at that. 6 feet, 5 inches, 250 pounds. That's heavier than Mike Tyson. He has quite a bit of professional experience, including when he disqualified Galata against Bo for a low blow. He also disqualified Galata when he bit another fighter. Rahman was knocked out of the ring and immediately persisted after that. And so Eddie Cotton now joins us right now. You have some experience with someone being bitten. You have some experience with low blows. Do you think that will come in handy tonight?
I hope not. And I think that both fighters know that they have a lot to prove. And I don't see any problems. I expect a good, clean fight.
What would give you that reason to have that expectation when Mike Tyson, in 5 of the last of his 7 fights, has had some very out-of-the-ordinary and not normal occurrences?
Well, I think that Mike and his camp well know that one more infraction like any of the past, and he'll probably be banned from boxing.
Have you planned anything different in your preparation? Have you watched tapes? Have you seen some of the tendencies of both Lewis and Tyson so that you're ready for almost anything?
I'm ready for almost anything because I always watch their fights as they took place. And I've done a lot of different fights. I've worked in the prisons for 8 years in the penal institution, and a lot of crazy things happened there. So I don't see any problem tonight.
If you had a concern, even though you just said you don't see any problems, what would that concern be?
Well, there's one minor thing that we'll make an adjustment on is if the mouthpiece comes out from either fighter, instead of waiting for a lull in the action, which is customary, we will immediately stop, call time, and put the mouthpiece back in.
It's much different than anything that we've ever seen. You're going to give the boxers their instructions in the locker rooms.
Correct.
How do you feel about that?
Well, everybody's so concerned about if they both have contact with each other that something stupid might happen. So in order to make the fight come on, let it be that way. And when the bell rings, we'll see what happens.
Will you hesitate to become physical if you have to? You're a physically imposing man.
I won't hesitate at all.
All right, Eddie, we wish you all the best. And I'm sure this is probably not the last time, even though we hope that we will be speaking to you this evening.
Thank you very much.
All right, Jim, thank you very much. I was just smiling at the confidence being displayed by the referee, Mr. Cotton. Indeed, he looks very capable of handling himself. Between Mr. Cotton and Mr. Samuel L. Jackson, I guess reason to smile. We're hoping we're going to be that way at the end of the night as well. All right, folks, to set up the next bout, a 122-pound bout between Manny Pacquiao and Jorge Julio. Back downstairs once again to Jim Lampley. Jim?
All right, thank you very much, JB. Is Mike Tyson the biggest puncher for his weight that we'll see in the ring tonight? Maybe, maybe not, because Manny Pacquiao is the biggest punching 122-pound fighter to have come along in a while. Tail of the tape, Pacquiao with a 10-year age advantage over Jorge Eliecer Julio. Pacquiao an inch and a half taller. Julio with long arms and a 1-inch reach advantage. Julio weighed in right on the 122-pound limit. Pacquiao unusually a pound and a half under. And tonight, Pacquiao unofficially weighs 129. Julio, 130. Rules for the bout with Bobby Chaz.
This fight is going to be governed by the unified rules of the Association of Boxing Commissions. The scoring will be a 10-point must system. There will be no standing 8 count and no 3 knockdown rule. Fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. Only the referee can stop the fight. In case of an accidental foul, we go to the scorecards after round number 4.
First to enter, Jorge Eliecer Julio, fighting now out of Montebello, California. Originally from Magdalena, Colombia, and Barranquilla, Colombia, where he grew up. 44 wins, 3 losses for Julio, but 45 of those 47 fights in lower weight classes. He's only moved up to this 122-pound class for his last 2 fights, and he got 1 win and then a 10-round decision win over Darryl Pinkney. Darryl Pinkney's got to be the best 25-win, 29-loss fighter anywhere in the sport.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's not a bad fighter. He's very experienced. I saw him fight and did his fight against Tapia. He'll keep it close. He's game, 10 box, a little power, decent chin. All around, not a bad fighter.
Julio lost to Johnny Tapia 2 years ago. Later lost to Adan Vargas as well before moving up from 118 pounds. He says he was too weakened by making the weight limit. Now here comes Pacquiao. In his last fight, he was the victim of a brutal siege of fouls by Agapito Sanchez in a fight which wound up in a technical draw in San Francisco. The fight was on HBO. It had the strong-minded Larry Merchant calling for Sanchez to be banned from boxing.
Well, I don't know about banned, but I'll tell you what, that was a really dirty fight. I saw the tapes of it, and it looked like it was a street fight more than it looked like a boxing match.
Prior to that, Pacquiao burst on the scene electrically in Las Vegas on the undercard of Lennox Lewis's knockout of Hasim Rahman with a sensational performance against Leshanola Ledwaba of South Africa. Ledwaba had looked like maybe the best in the division. Pacquiao blew him away.
You know what? He might have gotten old in a day, Ledwaba, but either way, he got hit by a freight train, and that young kid came at him with punches and bunches from every angle. Aggressive, sharp, strong. I was very impressed.
Unusual fighter, big punching southpaw. You don't see them all that often. It'll be Pacquiao's power against Julio's experience and craft as we get ready for this one. And on this unusual hybrid night, the heavyweight championship fight from Alice in Wonderland, another ring announcer, Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at the Pyramid in Memphis, Tennessee, we welcome you to our first championship bout of the evening. It's brought to you by Murad Muhammad's M&M Promotions. The three judges at ringside scoring this contest will be Paul Artiste, Bruce Foster, and Freddie Steinwinder. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, Bill Clancy. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 12 rounds of boxing. This is for the IBF Junior Featherweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing purple and weighing in at 122 pounds. His professional record, an excellent one. It stands at 44 victories, including 32 knockouts with 3 defeats. From Montebello, California, here is the challenger, the former two-time world champion, El Conquistador, Jorge Eliecer Julio. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing blue trimmed with red and white, officially weighing 120.5 pounds. His professional record also outstanding, 33 victories, including 24 knockouts with only 2 defeats and 1 bout even. From General Santos City, Philippines, presenting the reigning, defending IBF Junior Featherweight Champion of the World, Manny, the Destroyer Pacquiao.
Okay, gentlemen, 12 rounds for the championship. We went through the rules in the locker room. I want a good, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Punches here are okay. Punches right here at the top are okay. Any questions?
No question.
Touch gloves. Good luck. Here we go, Freddie. Bruce, Paul, you ready?
Pacquiao trained by the veteran Freddie Roach, former protege of the great Eddie Futch, regarded by some as one of the very greatest of all modern trainers. Eliecer Julio, a part of the stable of Ricardo Maldonado, who sent many top fighters into the ring.
Box!
Maldonado was also the manager of Agapito Sanchez, who fouled Pacquiao so ruthlessly in San Francisco, and Freddie Roach said to us yesterday, I wouldn't be surprised if Julio tries to do the same doggone thing.
Guilt by association, maybe.
Or just trying to get Pacquiao ready to be more protected this time, perhaps. Freddie says he would like for Pacquiao to learn to foul a guy back when he fouls him, but Pacquiao's too sportsmanlike to do so, he says.
Well, I can't imagine anyone fouling me when I were fighting that many times, me not like it one back, so this must be a real good kid.
Big left hand by Pacquiao. Julio stops him in his tracks there with a left hand counter. Both fighters using their jabs early, and I think Pacquiao has already gotten some of Julio's respect for his power.
I think so. You can see that Julio has got a concerned look on his face. You can see a little bit of strain in his eyes when he gets hit with some of those punches. Pacquiao can punch.
When you come up to 122 from 118 and you get Manny Pacquiao in your third fight in the division, you may be biting off something more than you can chew. But Julio has a lot of knowledge and a lot of craft. Oh, big left hand by Pacquiao.
And he got countered by a nice left hand counter by Julio.
Sometimes the first couple of punches might rock you, but then you taste the power and sort of get used to it, right, Bobby?
Well, you know, there are times that you can sort of adjust to it. But if you get caught one of those and you're not looking, I'll tell you what, your legs come right out from under you. When you catch you looking, boy, oh boy, it hurts so much more.
Pacquiao with a body shot after missing with the wild right hand. You can see what a big hitter Pacquiao wants to be. Throws every punch with aggressive intentions. Julio, a little bit more of a change-up artist, and holding his own now after a rough first minute.
And one of the things, there's a beautiful straight left hand by Pacquiao, but one of the things that's helping Julio is that jab. It's all set in the combinations of Pacquiao.
Put your heads. Put your heads.
Pacquiao saying it was an elbow.
Whoa, keep up.
And there's a low blow. So already an elbow and a low blow from Julio making contact with Pacquiao, and that's exactly what Freddie Roach suggested he thought might be the case.
When you punch that hard, as Pacquiao is, it takes a lot of energy to start those punches.
Oh, that's a huge left-hand shot, and the right-hand shot.
No knockdown. Don't pull him down, Manny.
As I was saying, it takes a lot of energy to start those punches. If you don't hit something, it takes the same amount of energy to stop them, and you could get prematurely fatigued. You have to make those punches hit something.
Body shot by Pacquiao. Julio seems a little bit flustered by Manny's power, and the first round comes to a close.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
And when we go to Manny Pacquiao's corner, where they may speak some Tagalog, our interpreter is Ernie Kalu.
All right, rinse it out. Okay, Manny. Now here, I want you to use the jab a little bit more. Okay? All right. You a little bit wide with your punches.
Tell him not to pull his head down. Okay?
Yes, sir. All right. You're a little bit wide with your punches. Okay? I want you to go behind the double jab. You hear me?
Yeah. All right. That you gotta be smart. You know, make sure be first. Okay? You hit him on the bottom, in the stomach. It hurts him. Come on. Keep punching.
You watch the combination. Pacquiao winds up throwing the left hand underneath, was very good, but then his arm winds up getting wrapped around his head. You see it right there, and he just pulls him down to the ground.
Thus the call of no knockdown when Julio went to the canvas. Now round 2 begins. Another straight left hand by Pacquiao. And you heard Julio's corner saying, hit him in the belly. And down goes Julio.
It was a perfect execution of what he was told in the corner. Double jab and throw the left hand. He did it, and look what we see.
The kid listens.
Hey, come to me. Bueno. Box.
Freddie Roach told him to go in behind the double jab and followed him with the left hand. He did it twice in a row, and the second one dropped Julio.
This is some prospect, Bobby. To me, he's every bit as exciting as Prince Nassim Hamed.
He really is. He can punch. He can take a punch. He's aggressive, and he loves to fight.
Okay?
Second knockdown of Julio. No 3 knockdown rule in effect.
I think Julio's going to have trouble finishing this round. I really do.
Julio trying to fight his way back. A little grabbing and holding might be the thing to do. Pacquiao's just getting ready to swing away again. And Bill Clancy's seen enough. Devastating second round TKO for Manny Pacquiao. What a comeback from the misfortune of San Francisco.
Very, very impressive against a fighter who is not that easy to beat. It's not easy to dominate. That I can tell you.
I think the most impressive thing was exactly what you pointed out. Freddie Roach calmly said, double jab and then follow with the left hand. He did it.
He did it in the first 10 seconds, hit him good, followed up with it and dropped him, and that was the beginning of the end for Julio.
This is for your family. The whole world, son. This is for your family.
Thank you, Lord. Mabuhay Pilipinas! Thank you, Lord.
Pacquiao feeling as though a great weight has been lifted from his shoulders. He was so disappointed by the technical draw in San Francisco. How one of the judges there had scored the fight with Sanchez in front remains an enduring small mystery of our sport. But all of that erased now as he blows away a good veteran fighter in Jorge Eliecer Julio.
That's what we call going back to your corner, getting the advice, and making the adjustments instantly. He made the necessary adjustments and came out and literally blew Julio out of there.
He's dominant at 122. The money would be at 126 with Hamed, Barrera, Morales, and various other good fighters. Here are the knockdowns, Bobby.
First knockdown, that jab, that was the second jab with the straight left hand, and here comes the second. Again, the accumulation factor becoming a factor, banging him to the body, staying on top of the body, and then up top again with the straight left hand behind the jab. Eventually the referee's going to come in here. It's just teeing off on Julio, and Pacquiao definitely wins this fight impressively.
Pacquiao so quick, so aggressive, and hurt Julio so much in the first minute of the round that the veteran fighter never even really tried to grab and hold or buy time.
You know, I don't know if that was just because he was so hurt or he just wasn't thinking or he just not the type of guy to do that, but he needed to hold on.
Let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the official particulars on the Pacquiao TKO.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Bill Clancy has to step in and call a halt to this bout. The official time, 1 minute, 9 seconds of round number 2. The winner by TKO victory and still the IBF Junior Featherweight Champion of the world, Manny, the Destroyer Pacquiao.
Love you, Philippines! Thank you, thank you.
Well, another terrific performance for Manny Pacquiao, very similar to his rapid destruction of Leishanola Ledwaba in Las Vegas last year. You see the enormous potential. You can see how strong he is at 122. Will he go up to 126 and chase huge fights against fighters like Hamed and Barrera and Morales and Tapia? Remains to be seen. Let's go to Fran Charles in the ring with the winner.
All right, Jim, thank you. And I'm standing by with the victorious Manny Pacquiao. Interpreting for us will be our translator, Ernie Kalu. And Manny, first off, you just came out of a fight, a very roughhouse tactic fight against Agapito Sanchez. You had a bad cut over your eye, a couple of low blows. Were you at all concerned about any of that type of behavior in the ring tonight?
Pagkatapos ng laban mo kay Agapito, hindi ka ba natakot na kayang-kaya mo tong kalaban na to?
No, I'm not scared because I saw the fight, his fight before against Johnny Tapia, and I think I beat him.
You have big power in both hands. You throw every punch with serious intentions. What's your plan to come in here and make quick work?
Malakas ang mga suntok mo, yun ba ang plano mo? Tapusin ka agad ang laban?
Yeah, my plan is first to third round I throw all punch power. That's my plan for the fight. Yeah, and maybe if he can survive, it's okay.
You got a good trainer there in Freddie Roach, and after the first round, Freddie said you're winging your punches a little bit, double up on the jab, and that jab is what hurt Julio.
Magaling talaga yung trainer mo at yung mga jab mo, malalakas talaga. Yun talaga nakasakit sa kanya.
Yeah, I know that. My coach is a very good, and for me, he's the best coach in the world. So I stay with him.
You're a champion at 122 pounds. What's next? Move up to 126, stay at 122. Who are you looking for next?
Champion ka na ng 122, aakit ka ba ng isang baitang? Yung ba plano mo?
Yeah, all the belt, I want to unify that in 122 and 126 pounds. Any opponent.
No one in particular?
No.
Okay. Manny Pacquiao, congratulations on a terrific fight.
Thank you.
All right, let's send it back up to JB.
All right, Fran, thank you very much. An impressive performance by the hard-hitting, fast-throwing punch Manny Pacquiao, indeed, in that victory over Jorge Julio. As we take a look at the site, the Pyramid here in Memphis, that will be the focal point of all boxing fans later this evening. And as you view these aerial scenes of Memphis, Sanyo and the crew of the Sanyo Lightship are proud to be a part of tonight's telecast, reminding you that for total technology, people look up to Sanyo. And later this evening from our perch, we'll be looking down at the ring for the main event when it will be Lennox Lewis taking on Mike Tyson, the heavyweight championship fight. Mike Tyson trying to take the title away from Lennox Lewis. And that is our next fight coming up in just about 45 minutes. It will be Lewis and Tyson. The list of reasons tonight's main event might not have happened is a long one. Both fighters have different promoters, different networks supporting them. There's the January press conference with its unsightly riot and the Nevada Athletic Commission turning down Tyson for a license. But here we are ready to go in Memphis. Let's take a look at this past week here and witness all the efforts necessary to pull off a fight some said couldn't be done. With an unprecedented emphasis on separation, Lewis Tyson represents a break in many longtime traditions. Not only was casino sponsorship splintered, but neither fighter stayed on their premises. Lewis stayed in a home in a gated community in suburban Memphis. Tyson was 20 miles away from the champion in a 6-bedroom mansion.
Preparations are going on in downtown Memphis for this weekend's big heavyweight title bout.
On Tuesday, promotion build-up week kicked off. Now, usually both fighters share the pre-fight press conference. For this event, different media days separated by 24 hours. Fitzgerald's was Tyson's understated headquarters. And for the first time in 3 months, Tyson had a public training session. It lasted about 15 minutes. Then more twists. In his only scheduled press conference, Tyson skipped out, leaving questions to his handlers.
If he second guesses himself with Mike Tyson, he's going to get knocked out. You all know he got a lot of bitch in him. You know him. Can I answer your question? He's a real bitch.
On Wednesday, Samstown embraces Lewis as the champion's official training camp. The low-key day contrasted Tyson's, starting with a civil press conference.
When Lennox Lewis feels threatened, that's when he's the most dangerous. And in Mike Tyson, we feel confident, but Lennox feels threatened, and so Mike Tyson is in very much danger of ending up going out of that pyramid point or whatever it is up there with a vicious uppercut.
Questions from the press followed.
I think fear, which is going to help us do the best job that we can, especially me. You know, a little fear is going to help me.
The day ended with a 45-minute workout. Same day, more of the unexpected. Down the Mississippi riverbed, back at Fitzgerald's, the casino encouraged Tyson to be more available. An informal Q&A session emerged with local kids and a few reporters.
Any distractions this week?
This week?
Yeah.
No, unless you're going to pop up with one.
Challenger Mike Tyson weighs in at the convention center. He takes the scale a few hours after Lennox Lewis. That way the fighters are kept separate. They don't see each other until fight night, Saturday night at the Pyramid.
On Thursday, another first. Separate weigh-ins, 3 hours apart.
249 1/4 pounds for Lennox Lewis. 234.5 pounds, 234.5 for Iron Mike Tyson.
2 days to go to make sure neither fighter would see one another until the main event.
We want them to see each other in the ring, and that's the next time we want them to see one another.
Mayor Willie Harrington's kicking off the round of pre-fight celebrations with his own party tonight at the Peabody.
With the last pre-fight formalities completed, Memphis took its turn in the spotlight. By any measure, this land of cotton and home of the Blues was not the typical boxing venue.
This is a great southern city with a lot of pride. We have an enormous opportunity to display to the world that Memphis can become a major fight venue. I will guarantee you all of the cities that rejected this opportunity are looking at Memphis with tremendous envy.
On Friday, the confrontational history of Lewis Tyson added to the security risks in Memphis.
We've added additional barricading, additional fencing. We've used the technology in terms of metal detectors, both handheld and permanent. And we will use additional security people to make visual checks of individuals and groups coming into the building. Anything that's brought into that building will be checked.
Tonight, doors are open, lockdown in action. The fighters arrive. So again, that all leading up to what will take place here tonight. Lennox Lewis taking on Mike Tyson. And folks, I'm with a guy who certainly looks as fit as anybody. You know him as the Academy Award winner, Best Supporting Actor in Jerry Maguire. We saw you in Men of Honor. You started with Boys in the Hood.
Yes, sir.
Now you're here in the Memphis Hood.
I'm here in Memphis!
Tonight.
Am I in Memphis? Where am I? Let him know!
So you're not too excited for the fight?
No, I'm not too excited. I'm trying. Matter of fact, I got things to do, so they might as well just get at each other. You know, put hands on the brother. Lenny's gonna put hands on the brother, Jim. He gonna put hands on the brother, and Mike Tyson better be in shape, because if it goes to the 4th round, hello somebody.
Now, in terms of putting hands on either one of the brothers, let's start first and talk about Lennox Lewis.
Yes, sir.
How will he go about putting hands on Mike Tyson tonight?
Well, as you see, Jim, I love this. At night, usually I'm by myself watching you, and I said, one day I'll be there. But as you see, Lennox has got that reach with that shoulder. You know what I mean? He put the boom out there. If Mike ain't bobbing and weaving like he used to do when he was younger, he's going to get knocked out. He's going to get knocked out. So I think that Tyson might come out and try to do them quick bow, and then the hooks. If he doesn't get him, he'll grab him. Because Lennox is going to keep him off with peppering with the jab. Peppering. Now, Lennox better be careful because he might bite him. And you don't want to get bit on the ear when you're trying to do your thing. I'm kidding, Mike.
Well, now, we're certainly hoping that this will not be a foul-prone fight. As a matter of fact, we heard the referee, Eddie Cotton, mention before that if Tyson did anything untoward, he's mindful that he could be banned from boxing. But it's interesting, you were talking about the reach and Mike Tyson doing the bobbing. Mike has repeatedly stated that with respect to the old Mike Tyson, while he may not have a lot of what he had back then, he has more because he is a smart fighter. So if he's not bobbing, what will Mike Tyson, bring to the table from your perspective?
Well, I think Mike Tyson has the power to knock him out if he catches him a couple of times. As we all know, we've seen Mike knock guys out this size. So I think Mike's going to try to get in there and get on him. Try to put the hands on him. I got to keep saying that because that's the only way you can say it. He's shorter than Lennox, obviously, and once he reaches up there and he connects one, he might let him know that he came to fight.
Certainly what we've been sharing with the audience, and obviously most boxing fans and even casual fans are fully aware of a lot of the controversy that was surrounding this fight coming here. And I'm going to make sure we keep him protected because we don't have a railing back there as well. And trust me, he is listening now. He is listening. All right, Cuba. All right, no. You're listening right now.
You look very good, Tyson. Your haircut is wonderful, and you're a good-looking man.
Speaking of haircut. Speaking of haircut.
Oh, right.
What's the deal?
I have a new film. I actually have two films coming out. I'm working on one for Paramount called Fighting Temptations with Beyonce Knowles, which is a musical. Yes, they'll be singing, but I won't be doing it. And then after that, I'm doing the real-life story of James Radio, who is a mentally handicapped man, and I'm experimenting with screen tests with bald looks and different prosthetics, but I'm very excited about it.
It is abundantly clear that Cuba Gooding Jr. has had an awful lot of rest, is well prepared for this fight. So before I let you go, who is your pick tonight and why?
Well, I knew you were going to say that.
And you were prepared for that.
I was. I have to say that, you know what? I'm not going to answer that the way traditionally people answer it with picking one boxer.
I'm accustomed to that. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to say that if Lennox gets in and does what he wants to do with Tyson after the third round, because it's going to take 3 rounds to see what condition Mike Tyson's in. If he's moving around the ring a lot, trying to keep Lennox off of him, throwing punches, haymakers, trying to knock him out, 4th round, he's going to lose his legs. And I think that's when Lennox is going to do his thing.
I just want to remind the viewers out there that it is contractually obligated that the fighters did not have to come for a walkout until 10 o'clock. So again, that is 10 Central Time. So, 10 Central. But you know what? You are in marvelous shape. If we have any problems getting the fighters to march out,
beef right there.
We're going to definitely get a little tight shot of you, my brother, because you look awfully sharp indeed.
Thank you, James.
Cuba Gooding Jr., thank you very much. All right, Snow Dogs was the other name, folks.
Oh, why you bring up Snow Dog?
Let's check in with the other member of our announced crew. He's got a special guest standing by with Jim Gray. Jim?
With Mike Tyson. Mike, what's it like for you tonight? It's the first time you go into a fight where you're an underdog.
I just feel wonderful. You know, I don't care what people say. The majority of the people that take the bets on fight, they don't know much about fighting. I'm confident in my ability, and I know what I can do. And not only that, the opponent knows what I could do. I'm not afraid of the man across the ring from me.
Do you feel as though you'll be able to intimidate him? You've been able to do that with a number of fighters who you fought.
Well, I'm not interested in intimidating him with just a presence alone. I'm prepared to put some punishment on him that intimidate him.
Mike, you had said you might want another fight after you fought Nielsen. You've had 5 fights in 5 years, 13 rounds. Are you prepared? Are you in the shape if you had to go 12 rounds?
Oh, I can go 12 rounds. I've been going 12 rounds in the gym. I'm just prepared to fight.
How did you spend your day? This is as most relaxed as I think I've ever seen you before a big fight.
I just look at my pigeons. You know, I have my sister film my pigeons in New York, and then she sends them back, and then I just watch them all day, and that relaxes me.
All right, Mike, we wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
All right, gentlemen, back out to you.
All right, Jim, thank you very much. Jim with a very calm and focused and relaxed Mike Tyson. As a matter of fact, when we talked with him on Thursday, he was as relaxed as I have ever seen. As a matter of fact, it looked as if he had a stand-up comedy act going with us in our conversations with him then. Speaking of stand-up comedy, my gosh, between Samuel L. Jackson and Cuba Gooding Jr., as we go back downstairs to Jim and Bobby, I don't know if I've ever dealt with somebody with as much energy, either of these guys, but let's go back to Jim and to Bobby.
Whatever it is Cuba has, we want it. I'll tell you what, Jim Gray mentioned how relaxed Mike Tyson looked to him prior to a big fight. James Brown checked in with the same observation. You know him as well as anybody in our world, Bobby. Your take on Mike's frame of mind going into the fight?
You know what, Jim, is interesting you asked that, and we've all talked about it, but I have not seen Mike Tyson this calm in maybe 8 to 10 years. He's developed or come into an inner peace, the likes of which I've never seen with Mike. Now, how that translates into the ring, how that affects what he does when he's boxing, that I don't know, but I've never seen him this calm and at peace with himself. And he could be very dangerous or maybe docile, but I doubt it.
The layman is going to say that it suggests great confidence.
Well, I know he's great confidence. The thing is that fighters think that they can win if they do the right thing. Mike always believes he's just supposed to win because.
All right. Can Mike win if, in fact, the fight goes to the judges? Well, let's take a look at the 3 judges who have been chosen for this fight, and all of them have taken long trips to Memphis. Judge number 1, Alfred Bukwana from South Africa, and you can see that he has considerable experience, but never a heavyweight title fight, and has not judged a title fight in more than 3 years, which may or may not be a mark against him, given the fact that some of the judges we see most frequently have turned in some very curious decisions recently. The second judge among the 3 who will score the fight is a judge that we have seen a great deal in the past, Anak Hongtongkam of Thailand. And you can see that he has a good deal of experience, but I mentioned those unusual decisions recently. He had Floyd Mayweather beating Jose Luis Castillo last month in a fight that most of us at ringside seemed to think Castillo had won. And Bobby, I know you agree with me that Castillo won the fight easily. Look at that, 116-111 Mayweather by Hongtongkam. And the third judge is another veteran of whom we've seen a great deal in recent years at championship fights, Bob Logist of Belgium. And you can see he's done 2 heavyweight championship fights, but his biggest and most notable scorecard, he was one of the judges who voted for Felix Trinidad against Oscar De La Hoya in Trinidad's controversial victory in that fight. It's sort of a given here that these 3 guys are not going to turn in final ballots tonight. Is it significant who they are if in fact they do?
Well, it becomes significant as to who they are with their scorecards. If they've had controversy in the past, that does become significant. How they got to this place, the most important fight in the heavyweight division, maybe in history. But I don't think the judges will ever have anything to do with this fight. I really don't.
No, I know of nobody who thinks that this fight is going to go to a decision. In fact, many writers are known to pick Lennox Lewis by decision prior to most of his fights, but in a writer's poll in USA Today yesterday, only one of more than 20 writers polled picked Lewis to win by decision. Now let's take a look at the corners for the 2 fighters. And as many of you may know, Mike Tyson fired his most recent trainer, Tommy Brooks, who had been his trainer for 6 previous fights, on January 21, the night before the brouhaha at the New York News Conference. And the new trainer, just added within the past couple of months, is Ronnie Shields. Went to Maui to train Tyson for this fight. You can see that he's had 1 previous experience as the head trainer in a heavyweight championship fight. It was an unsuccessful effort against Lennox Lewis. In the past, he was in Evander Holyfield's corner for many of Holyfield's championship assignments, though not as the head trainer. Bobby, your take on Ronnie Shields and his application to Tyson's situation?
Well, Ronnie's not only a competent trainer, he's a very good trainer. Now, as far as Mike Tyson is concerned, if Mike Tyson has some synchronicity with Ronnie Shields, then it's great. It has to be the fighter's decision because that relationship is so special, so private. It's a one-on-one, and it really is. But I listened to them. There's some things they're doing that really lead me to believe that Ronnie has contributed greatly to getting Mike back to like the Mike of old.
Although some believe that co-trainer Stacy McKinley more clearly and directly has Tyson's ear.
Well, McKinley has been there for a long time. He's been there through a number of other different head trainers. He's been there through a number of different managers, promoters. He's been the long haul. He knows Mike the best. Mike probably trusts him the most. That's a big deal.
Let's take a look at the resume for the man in Lennox Lewis's corner, who is one of the best known, if not the best known, current active trainer in the sport of boxing, Emanuel Stewart. And you can see his amazing record in heavyweight championship fights. 12-1-1 in title fights. The one draw, of course, the controversial draw for Lewis and Holyfield, March 13, 1999 in New York. If you go along with most ringside experts with that one, the record would be 13-1. The only black mark being Lewis's knockout loss to Hasim Rahman in South Africa last year. He trained Lennox Lewis for his last 12 championship appearances. He trained Evander Holyfield in the second fight against Riddick Bowe, won by Holyfield. He trained Oliver McCall when McCall scored his knockout victory over Lewis back in 1993. He was an architect for Tommy Hearns. He later trained Oscar De La Hoya. This is a terrific trainer in whom Lewis has a great deal of confidence, right?
And he should. Emanuel Stewart has a great track record. He's a tremendous trainer, a bona fide Hall of Famer. In the amateurs and the National Junior Olympics, one of his fighters beat mine, and I've yet to beat Emanuel Stewart. I'm still mad at him.
So when you size up the two corners, Bobby, is there any reason not to say big advantage Lewis?
Well, right now I'd have to say big advantage Lewis as far as the training goes, but now we have to take it down to the fighter.
All right, so we'll see what happens later on tonight when they're in the ring. Meanwhile, you saw Jim Gray earlier with Mike Tyson. He has also spoken to Emanuel Stewart. Let's hear that conversation.
Lennox Lewis trainer has come out to speak with us, Manny Stewart. Manny, let me ask you first, the day that Lennox Lewis has spent, what is his mental frame of mind?
Lennox's mental state of mind is very good. He was driving over here in a limo. He said, it's time to fight now. All of the talking is over with, so he's in a good mood. He doesn't even want to talk to anyone right now. He's very upbeat. He feels very lucky to get this fight because it's the fight that he always wanted.
It's been suggested by Evander Holyfield and some of other opponents of Lennox that he cannot win this fight backing up. Will that be your instruction to him?
I think the whole world is giving Lennox Lewis instructions on backing up and not backing up. So he has to be forceful with Mike Tyson. You have to fight Mike Tyson, and you have to challenge him. You can use a jab, but you cannot just use entirely a backing up jab. Maybe sometimes once in a while, but for the most part, you've got to fight Mike, and you have to challenge him.
Are you concerned that he might be a little too cautious and therefore not aggressive?
No, I'm not concerned. Lennox has a solid plan that's been laid out, and I'm quite sure he's going to follow the plan. He's a veteran fighter.
Is there anything that Mike Tyson can do in the ring that would distract, and is Lennox concerned about Mike's behavior?
Lennox is not concerned about Mike's illegal tactics that may occur or something erratic, because he starts concentrating on that, you can get off track. And in Mike Tyson, you're still dealing with what I've always considered the best punching heavyweight of all time when it comes down to punching power. Mike Tyson has got to be rated number one. And, that's dangerous enough, let alone worried about illegal tactics. We're going to depend on the referee to handle that.
And you have called Eddie Cotton, the referee, the most important referee in the history of boxing. What made you say that?
Because this fight here is more people anticipating the unexpected to happen than the normal. So it's when you have odds of 41 that it's going to end on a disqualification even. So, and both guys, Mike and Lennox, have been known to be pretty rough themselves. So it's a very good chance that the referee may end up being a big factor on the outcome of the fight.
You might not be able to answer this. Our final thought, Emmanuel. Lennox has called Mike a lot of disfavorable, nasty things throughout the course of this promotion. But does he respect him as a fighter and his fighting ability?
I think we should reverse that. Lennox Lewis has been called more names than Mike Tyson in terms of that. But Lennox...
be that as it may. You
but I'll get to your question.
Right.
Yeah, but Mike is... Lennox respects him, but Lennox feels that Mike is overrated to a great degree, and one of his biggest weapons is intimidation. He is a tremendous puncher, but still, intimidation is just as important in Mike Tyson's arsenal as it is anything else.
Can Lennox be intimidated?
Lennox is not intimidated by Mike Tyson. Never has been, never will be. Respect his punching power, but definitely not intimidated.
Manny, thank you. We appreciate it. Look forward to the fight.
Okay, my pleasure.
All right, Jim Lampley, back out to you.
Thank you very much, Jim Gray. And here is a look at the outside of the Pyramid Arena, where, as you can see in the near foreground on this side of the arena, traffic has been backed up. One of the developing stories here, many empty seats in the 19,000-plus seat Pyramid Arena. Right now, we are told that the security detail, which is checking people as they come through the gates, has created huge lines, an enormous backup outside, and there may be some difficulty for all of tonight's fans getting into the arena by fight time. But perhaps with an eye to that, Mike Tyson has told us that he will not begin his walkout until at least 40 minutes from now. And perhaps within that time frame, the majority of fans who are now held up in security can make it into the arena, certainly for their sake, and given the massive ticket price, $2,400 at ringside, we hope so. Let's go back upstairs to James Brown.
All right, Jim, thank you very much. And I'm joined right now by a very familiar face in boxing, Mr. Joe Frazier. And very appropriate that we're talking with you, given that I guess we could call you Tyson-like in that most of your career you were fighting taller fighters as well. Talk about the challenge that will be before Mike Tyson tonight and what he'll have to do to be successful.
Number one, we're talking about Mike Tyson, but we also got another guy who have walked that road like Muhammad, Joe Frazier, George Foreman, Floyd Patterson, and this guy walked the same road we walked from the games.
In that?
Being Olympic champion. Okay. And so therefore, this man have been around with a lot of fights in order to get to that position. Sometimes we overlook the truth. Like this man have had a lot of amateur fights and fights that makes you better. And he have been the distance longer than Michael have. So therefore, as time go by, he know how to space himself at the distance. Now all this has a lot to do with the fight also. But everybody looking at the one punch and the 2 punch that Mike throw. But that's not the name of the game.
But now one of the reasons though, Joe, that they're talking about the 1 punch and the 2 punch of Mike Tyson is because he does possess devastating knockout power in either hand, similar to you, Joe Frazier. So even though, granted, and giving Lennox Lewis his propers, that he's going to be able to move, keep him back, and use that jab, he's got to be mindful of that one serious punch thrown by Mike Tyson when you consider that Oliver McCall took him out and Hasim Rahman took him out as well.
But Lennox Lewis got long arms and a taller man. Now, if he punches Mike and box him and still punch him, his arm is longer than Mike, so he can get the job done better. I would say, you know what I mean? The way I look at it, it's anybody's game. The other guy got 2 hands also. I like both guys. I'm happy that they're here to, let's say, enjoy some of the life that I've walked down the road and a lot of champions. So therefore, these guys is some of the guys that going to put the icing on the cake, but you will see that it's not that simple. You know what I mean?
Okay.
This guy been there.
Let me ask you another question, Joe, and certainly let's be very candid about it. There were a number of people who did not want to see this fight take place. So many people thought that Mike Tyson did not deserve it. And Mike Tyson has a sizable number of people who support him, and certainly he has brought quite a few people here. We've got a half-hour backup trying to get here to see him. Should Mike Tyson be fighting tonight? Does he deserve and has he earned the right to be fighting tonight?
Of course. Why not? Mike haven't done anything wrong on the basis that if the boxing commissioner puts down the rules and regulations before these guys enter some, let's say, the arena, enter the press conference, these guys know exactly what goes on. But if they don't give the rules and regulations down before they meet up with each other, anything can happen. The same thing with me and Muhammad. You know, we went through the same thing, wrestling on television. So if you don't put the rules down and say, well, look, guys, this is what it's going to be like. You can't do this, you can't do that. That's the name of the game. If you do this, this is what's going to happen. The rules and regulations are put down. But bringing 2 warriors together at that time, anything might go on.
I understand.
You understand?
Well, what we're hoping goes on tonight will be an excellent fight, and that's what we're looking forward to. Joe Frazier, thank you very much for your time, buddy. Much appreciated.
Hey, JB, it's always nice seeing you.
All right, likewise indeed. All right, folks, we've got Jim Gray, who worked the Game 2 of the NBA Championship last night in Los Angeles, and guess what? We're keeping him busy tonight. Let's head back to Jim Gray.
And we'll be back tomorrow to that game. There you take a look right there. That is Master Control. That is the control room where more than 35 cameras, both inside and outside of the command center here at the Pyramid, are checking out security. Right now, they are watching everybody from almost every conceivable angle who comes into this building. And right now, I am joined by Inspector Larry Godwin. He is in charge of all of security here tonight. First of all, let me ask you, there's a tremendous crush of people outside who are having trouble getting in. Will they be in time for the main event?
They'll be in. We've kind of expedited some things, and some of the magnetometers were a little sensitive, and officers trying to do their job, and they wasn't letting anybody. They were doing their job, and we kind of got things expedited a little bit.
Inspector, let me ask you, there's some riot gear underneath the ring. We've heard all kinds of threats. You guys have taken all kinds of special precautions. Is there anything out of the ordinary from a regular sporting event that you're anticipating here tonight?
Absolutely not. We just, since 9/11, the threat of terrorism, our country's at war, we want to make sure that we can be prepared for almost anything, and that all these fine people can enjoy a wonderful fight tonight.
Are you anticipating, if there is any problem, that it will be a problem in the ring, outside of the ring, with the fans, or outside of the building?
Well, there's a lot of energy in here, and of course we want the energy to stay in the ring, and hopefully it will. I think it will. And then, of course, with the crowds, we sometimes get a little impatient, but if everyone will be patient, I think they'll really enjoy themselves tonight.
And part of the reason with the crowds, and we should explain, is that half of this arena is Tyson fans. The other half was sold to the people in the United Kingdom, and they're Lennox Lewis fans. Are you concerned that the two may mix upon the concourse?
Oh, not in a fashion that we would think there'd be a lot of altercation. We think, they want to support their fighter, and the other team wants to support their fighter.
Final thought, Larry, the specter of Mike Tyson. Obviously, that has raised the level of security. You'll have security people in the ring.
Yeah.
What has he done, and just his past antics, to make things maybe more difficult for you to prepare?
Well, I don't know that he's made things more difficult. We know that there's not a lot of love and energy, between the two, and they haven't showed anything like that here. They've both been professionals, and everything's gone well so far, and I think it will tonight.
Inspector, thank you for your time. I wish you luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's go back upstairs to James Brown.
Hey, Jim, indeed, both fighters have been professional apart. We'll find out what happens when they get together inside of that facility you're looking at now, the Pyramid, here in Memphis, Tennessee. And let me tell you, the folks here, some 1 million plus in this metropolitan area, have been simply sensational with respect to their hospitality. Also sensational, the shots that we're getting. The electronics leader, Sanyo, is proud to bring you these aerial pictures of Memphis from the Sanyo lightship, and we much appreciate that. You saw the shots earlier showing the backup looking to get in here to see this fight here. Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson, the heavyweight championship fight coming up in just a little bit. Lennox Lewis putting his titles on the line against the man who once was considered to be the most dangerous on the planet, Mike Tyson, as they get set to do battle. Well, at this point, you've no doubt heard that Las Vegas, Nevada was the original intended site for this event. However, in late January, Mike Tyson's application for a boxing license there was denied, setting off a worldwide search for a new location for the fight. We wound up here in Memphis, a city which has never hosted a heavyweight championship fight. But this isn't the first time a country or a city has decided that any publicity is good publicity, with a nod to Kinshasa, Zaire, and Manila in the Philippines. Let's take a look at two distinctly American stories.
79 years ago, Shelby, Montana was experiencing an oil boom and people were getting rich. But now they were craving attention too.
Promoters in Shelby decided Shelby needed to get on the map. And they called Jack Dempsey's manager and said, we'd be interested in hosting a World's Heavyweight Championship fight.
Shelby officials were now dealing with one of the great sports con men of the 20th century.
Well, Jack Dempsey's manager was Jack Doc Kearns. Doc was his nickname. And he was kind of a sly old fox.
Doc Kearns summoned a Shelby promoter to Chicago, where during a night of drinking, Kearns negotiated a deal for $300,000.
Oh, yeah, that's when the trouble began.
There was a question of whether the fight would really be held and that it would come off.
In today's terms, probably could be $300 million.
Eventually, Shelby had local banks put up the money needed, but the damage had already been done.
The trains were scheduled to run from Chicago to bringing out thousands of fans. Then they thought it was called off.
With the on and off again nature of the fight, a lot of those passenger trains were canceled.
They constructed a 40,000 plus stadium. The stands were maybe about 2/3 full, and I think they guessed there's maybe about 15,000 there.
And some of the people that did attend the fight crashed the gate. And actually didn't even pay to attend. So it was a financial disappointment.
In 1923, the dream was to become the Tulsa of the Northwest. But Shelby remains Shelby. And locals aren't embarrassed by their 15 minutes of fame, but have instead embraced it.
Well, I think you're always proud of your history. Whether it's positive or negative, it's still history.
Did it really bust the town? Well, the town's still here today.
It can't be forgotten, and it won't die, so it continues to go on and serve as an inspiration to a lot of others. But let's try this. Maybe it'll work.
42 years later and 2,500 miles east, heavyweight boxing would once again bring its main event to an unusual location, Maine.
Why would they come to a small city like Lewiston?
I guess Clay's stance on the war, the draft, or something had caused a number of states to refuse to take the fight.
Because of Liston's criminal record, they wouldn't give him a license.
They came to me and they said, "You have a problem with that." And I said I didn't. I couldn't see any downside, and I thought it'd be good for the town.
Lewiston residents didn't realize they were about to host one of the shortest and most controversial heavyweight title fights of all time.
Standing outside on the slopes there, facing the building there, waiting to get in, and a lot of them never made it.
I remember turning and putting my wife's wrap on the back of her chair like this, and I turned around, the fight was over. It was that quick.
Fight itself was a dud. I mean, really. You've seen better fights on the street corner.
But much like Shelby, Montana, locals have learned to put a positive spin on the night dubbed the Shame in Maine.
Well, I think some people are embarrassed by it. I don't know why they would be. But it never bothered me. I thought it was, that's probably the only time people ever hear about Lewiston, Maine.
I've traveled in many states, and when they know I'm from Lewiston, this is what they talk about. Lewiston, that's where you had that famous fight.
All I know is it put Lewiston on the map when he came in. Oh yeah, that was quite a talk for a long time.
It made sports history. Good or bad, we live with it.
For the people of Lewiston, Maine and Shelby, Montana, brushes with boxing fame turned out to be bittersweet.
Well, the script has yet to be written as far as Memphis is concerned, but as I've said repeatedly throughout the evening, Memphis has been a wonderful host, a city, of course, that has never hosted a heavyweight championship fight, but the folks here have been wonderful with their hospitality, and let me tell you, it's nice also to come to a place that knows how to cook grits extremely well. All right, folks, let me send you back downstairs. Bobby Ches may get on my case for having eaten some grits, but let's go back to Jim Lampley and Bobby Ches.
Bobby ate Italian, JB. He stayed away from the grits. I was the one, but of course, I come by it honestly. This is my mother's hometown. Our generation's Lewiston, our generation's Kinshasa, Zaire. And Bobby, I know you were downtown last night. I thought the scene in the streets downtown in Memphis was the most raucous, vibrant, and energetic I've ever seen before a prize fight.
Well, you know, I have some friends that have friends downtown on Beale Street. I've been on Beale Street before. Spent a little time at Silky O'Sullivan's joint, having a lot of fun, dancing up a storm. I loved it.
Yeah, it was belly to belly in downtown Memphis last night, and now the crowd is beginning to file in here. As we wait for the walkouts, let's take a look at a couple of fights which represent key junctures in the careers of Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson and raise both questions and perhaps answers about them. We'll start in Madison Square Garden in early summer of 1996 on a night when Bobby Ches fought Evander Holyfield, and then in the main event on that card, Lennox Lewis fought a tough 10-round battle with Ray Mercer, ultimately won on a razor-thin split decision by Lewis. And Bobby, a lot of people thought this fight showed Lewis's vulnerability against a really tough guy, but others saw it as a mark of his ability to respond under pressure.
Well, he responded under pressure well. I thought he just barely outpointed Ray Mercer, but I don't think Ray Mercer trained well enough for that fight. Mike's not going to come in anything less than perfect shape, is my assumption, with a fighter as big and as dangerous as Lennox. But Mercer rocked him regularly, and that says something because we still believe Mike is the hardest puncher, even harder than Ray.
This was a fight in which Lewis's delicate chin was tested and weathered the storm. Is Mercer a big puncher?
I'll tell you what, I was sparring with Ray once, 18-ounce gloves and a headgear. I thought a piece of cement fell out of the ceiling, Jim. He does hit hard, but I was lucky enough to recover well, but he really does punch well.
Lennox Lewis was ultimately able to win the 10th round of that fight and gain victory, he says, largely through the advice of Emmanuel Stewart, who helped him get through what was probably the toughest fight that Lennox Lewis ever won. Let's turn to the career of Mike Tyson and the question of how Tyson has done against taller fighters. We're going to take a look at a 12-round fight from relatively early in Mike's career, 1987, against former heavyweight champion Tony Tucker. And some see this fight, Bobby, as evidence that Tyson has had difficulty finishing larger opponents like Tucker.
Right, but the key here is he went to 12 rounds. He won probably 10 of the 12 rounds. I was at that fight. Tucker's tough. Tougher than Lewis, probably. Not as good a boxer, not as good as a puncher, but probably tougher than Lewis. He took some tremendous shots. He never really staggered, never really went down. But Mike was there throwing for the full 12 rounds. That's the key. If this fight goes late and Mike is still in shape, he still can win a decision.
Further action from 1987, the much younger Mike Tyson against Tony Tucker. You can see that Tucker landed a couple of big shots in this fight. Nobody has ever really questioned Tyson's chin. Tyson has indeed been twice a victim of knockout loss, but not as the result of one punch. And there you see a graphic which suggests that against larger fighters, Tyson usually fights a longer fight. Against shorter fighters, many more quick knockouts. But then again, Bobby, some of the taller fighters he fought were simply better than the smaller guys.
Well, that's true. If you have talent, whether you're tall or you're short, you're going to bring it to the table and use it to the best of your ability. And it's, again, when you're tall and you got that reach and height, it acts as a built-in defense. It makes it tougher for the small man to reach you, harder on your energy bank. And you know what? It's just tough to get to those big guys when you're short. Mike's short.
If you've read anything at all about this fight, you know there are a variety of unique elements completely endemic to this fight and this fight only. One of them, separate referees' instructions to be held in the dressing rooms, no referees' instructions to be given at the center of the ring. So there was extra importance when Eddie Cotton went to Mike Tyson's dressing room just a short time ago to talk to Mike about the conduct of the fight.
How you doing? Okay, I just want to go over a few rules. There's no 3 knockdown rule. All right, a fighter can't be saved by the bell in any round. All right, if a fighter gets knocked down, the fighter that's standing, I will usher them to the neutral corner. Wait till I tell you to come out and go to work. All right, make sure that you keep your punches up, obey my commands. I'm going to say stop, break, and box. All right, we're starting with a clean slate. Whatever happened in the past doesn't mean anything to anybody.
Thank you.
All right, and I'm going to say the same thing in the other corner. All right,
You heard Eddie Cotton earlier saying another severe foul by Tyson could well lead to his banishment from boxing. If in fact Mike is gripped with a sincere desire to want to stay in the ring and to avoid any foul whatsoever, could it distract him enough to inhibit him in the fight?
I'm not sure it'll distract Mike Tyson. Once Mike Tyson gets going, you flip that switch, he's just a raging bull that wants to fight. Sometimes he loses control. This is the problem I've always had with him. I've talked to him as a friend and as a colleague, as a former fighter, saying, Mike, listen, you got the rage. You know you have the rage. We all have the rage, but you got to harness that within the parameters of the rules. And I think he's really focused and is going to do that.
One foul with which Tyson has not frequently been charged in the past, low blows. But Emmanuel Stewart has told Lennox Lewis to look out for low blows because that's something that often happens with a shorter fighter against a guy who's really tall.
Well, that sometimes just happens because, and you saw it many times, we saw it earlier tonight, when you reach a guy, pull his head down, and the little guy's swinging up, sometimes he will catch you south of the border. But Mike Tyson has not really been known to do that, so I can't expect he's going to start tonight.
And Lennox Lewis has been known to drape his arm across opponents' backs. In fact, Michael Grant said he held my head down when he knocked me out.
And you watch the replay of that fight, he did just that. He held him behind it and threw an uppercut right into Michael Grant's face while he was holding the back of his head. Technically a foul, bad punch. Referee didn't say a word.
The really crafty veterans know how to get away with a foul or two from time to time. Let's see what Eddie Cotton had to say in Lennox Lewis's dressing room.
Lennox, I just want to go over a few rules. You already know them, but there's no 3 knockdown rule. There's no standing 8 count. Fighter can't be saved by the bell in any round. If there's an accidental headbutt or an injury before completion of 4 rounds, it'll be a technical draw. From the 5th round on, they go through scorecards and they also score that round. I want to tell you the same thing that I told Mike, that we're starting with a clean slate. And whatever happened in the past has nothing to do with this fight. All right? Make sure that you keep your punches up, obey my commands. I'm going to tell you stop, break, and box. They mentioned that there's a couple things that they want me to look for, such as hand out without actually throwing a punch, and also hitting and holding on the break. Okay? Got any questions? I expect a good, clean fight.
Bobby, when you look back at Evander Holyfield's big win over Mike Tyson in 1996, he seemed to me to disturb Tyson's rhythm early in the fight by grabbing him by the shoulders, muscling him, throwing him around the ring a little bit. Lewis, we've seen do that in his fights against Holyfield. Will Lewis try to do that against Tyson?
I can't see why he wouldn't. He's got a shorter man. Once he gets close, he's got to do something. He's got to hold on or tie Mike up all the way, because on the inside, Lennox Lewis's advantages with his reach are all negated. He doesn't have the power on the inside. He has it from the outside. Mike has it inside. He has the range, the reach, the leverage on the inside. He has to do something when Mike gets inside. Otherwise, he's going to have a long night.
And unlike
Riddick
night. Bowe, a tall fighter who loved to fight inside, Lennox Lewis has seemed to always know it's not his game and has avoided it.
He certainly has, and it's smart. If it's not your game, why fall into that trap? Fight from the outside box where you're most effective. Set the fight distance so that it fits your style. That's what he does.
We could talk all night about this stuff, but we're closing in on fight time. Let's go back upstairs to James Brown.
All right, Jim, and as we take a look at some of the lights outside, a lot of lights and stars on the inside, we're pleased to be joined by yet another star. No, not the running back that he was in high school. Yes, we understand, singer indeed, actor, author, yet more to come, LL Cool J. Movie credits include Rollerball, In Too Deep, Any Given Sunday, Deep Blue Sea, but 20 million albums sold?
Yeah, thanks to Def Jam Records, we got 20 million albums out there, and feel real good about it. I'm actually working on my 10th right now, and that's going to come out between September and October, so we'll see.
So tell me what you know about the fight game.
I'm a big fan. I'm an avid fan. I'm still trying to recover from that knot on Hasim's head last couple of weeks ago. Much love to Hasim, but that was the deepest thing I ever seen. Even for him, it was probably deep. But I just think tonight is going to be a really compelling fight. I think that, for Mike, obviously the keys are that, head movement, footwork. If he can move his head, if he has good lateral movement with his head, and if his footwork is right, he'll get inside, he'll be able to get Lennox and make him vulnerable. With Lennox, I think it's a matter of being aggressive, putting a line in front of Mike, and every time he crosses it, popping him with the jab and landing that right hand. And
now, as I listen to you give us a synopsis, a thumbnail sketch of both fighters, you talk about Lennox if he's going to be aggressive. His career has been such that he's very cautious. He will wait to adapt to the style that's coming at him.
It's interesting. You know what? I don't think that, I want to correct what I said. I think rather than him being passive or not aggressive, I think he's very methodical. And boxing is a sport. People are impatient. Boxing fans are very impatient. I mean, if there's a lull in the action, they start booing. So they want to see a fighter go in there and basically tear somebody's face off. That's what they want. Lennox likes to pick people apart. He's very methodical. He's very smart. He plays chess when he's boxing. With Mike...
Does that explain why maybe Lennox Lewis has not enjoyed the popularity that maybe he feels he should, why folks haven't embraced him more?
I think that the people who are pure fans of fighting and boxing know how great and good Lennox is. A person who's just a fan of the sport and who just likes to see the spectacle and likes to see it just for pure entertainment purposes would probably not understand his style quite as much. And I think, with Mike, instead of playing chess, he just comes in and knocks all the pieces off the board. So, they kind of understand that a little bit more.
Boxing being as it is, and let me also just remind the viewers here that we're expecting and hoping that Mike Tyson will in fact begin his walkout in just about 12 minutes. And speaking of Tyson, it's interesting how this fight has been dissected and critiqued from so many different perspectives, right. Not the least of which is if Mike Tyson is successful this evening, there are a number of people saying, not that I necessarily agree with this, but let me ask you, that it wouldn't necessarily be good for boxing. You agree with that notion or disagree?
Well, I think. See, there are two sides to the story. Are you talking about American morality? Are you talking about how we feel about our heroes and our athletes as role models? Or are you talking about the business of boxing? For the business of boxing, from the looks behind us, Mike is everything boxing needs and more.
Point well taken.
So there it is.
In a word, who do you like tonight and why?
Can't say, not sure. Mike is very dangerous. I'm leaning towards Mike, but I really can't make up my mind. Lennox is so smart and he's so calculated with his moves,
Let's just see a
good
one.
We'll see.
20 million albums sold. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right,
What's up,
folks,
Simone?
the stage has been set. Let's take you back downstairs once again to Jim Lampley.
All right, thank you very much, JB. And once again with Bobby Ches, we told you about separate referees' instructions following a pattern which has obtained all week, separate Blockbuster outlets for renting videos, and, of course, separate weigh-ins 2 days ago. And both camps seem to believe, Bobby, that the scale for the weigh-in was heavy. So we're going to take a look at some weights which probably are not entirely accurate. Here's a look at Mike Tyson's last 6 weigh-ins. And you'll see that 2 days ago, he weighed in at 234.5 pounds. Now, trainer Ronnie Shields and others in Tyson's camp said that they believe that scale is 6 or 7 pounds off. So, for the sake of argument, since Lewis's camp agrees, let's say that Tyson comes into the fight, Bobby, weighing 227 or 228 pounds. And you can see that earlier in his career, he preferred 222, 223. Way back in the old days, 218. What do you think of 227 as a weight for this fight?
I think 227, 228 would be perfect for Mike. But either way, if the scale's off 6 pounds, there's only 15 pounds between them, which I think is about where Mike wanted to be. He thought Lennox might come in a little lighter, to be more mobile, to be a little quicker, to keep Mike's power offset with speed. So they're 15 pounds apart. Mike's a lot shorter. It's all compact. I think 227, 220, if that's what he is perfect for him.
Is the benefit of the extra weight to help him take Lewis's punch or to help him deal with Lewis's physicality and gain space in the ring?
I think it would be a combination of him being able to lay extra power into Lennox Lewis, hit him with extra hard punches, and as well as the physicality of it is one of those things too. When the big man is pressing on you all night, it makes you tired. It will drain you, it will wear you down. Big George did it to everybody masterfully. Lennox doesn't do it as masterfully, but he still does it.
So how big is Lennox Lewis? Well, once again, Emmanuel Stewart agreed with Ronnie Shields that the scale was probably off. So though Lewis stepped on the scale and was measured at 249.25 pounds, which would be heavier than his weight in the sensational performance against Rahman last November, Emmanuel Stewart says he weighs 243. And that would be the lowest weight in the recent career of Lennox Lewis, significantly lower than in any of his recent heavyweight championship fights. 243 for Lewis. Too light and meaning that he's overtrained, or great meaning that he is in sensational shape?
I would translate that into great, and that he's in great shape. He's got to do what he's got to do. He's ready. He's got the power, and he's still got speed now.
So you think that just as Mike might have been conscious of Lennox's strength and power in adding extra weight, that Lennox might have taken off more to deal with Mike's speed and movement?
Right. I think he's going to be very conscious of the energy he's going to need to expend. He's got to be lighter to do that without being prematurely fatigued. That's why I think he's lighter.
All right. Let's go back upstairs to James Brown as we continue to prepare for what may or may not be the fight of the decade in the heavyweight division.
Preparation indeed, Jim and Bobby. Folks, we are all done with all of our undercard and pre-fight business. Indeed, the Lewis-Tyson fight is next. The question is, and I think it might be appropriate, is are you surprised? Because after all these months of is it going to happen, where is it going to happen, and will it happen, the time has finally come to forget about all of those questions and focus on a boxing match.
We have seen them. We have heard them.
He can't stop me. Fuck him.
Definitely not scared of Mike Tyson. I'm the best there is.
I want your heart. I want to eat his children. Praise be to Allah.
The fight is on. It is on for Mike Tyson. 16 years ago, Mike Tyson became the youngest heavyweight champion ever. He was destined to be one of the greatest of his era. But a fight with the Buster stopped a historic path once laid before him.
What an uppercut by Douglas, and down goes Tyson.
It's over.
Mike Tyson has been knocked out.
Since then, his early career accolades have turned into late career fiascos. Tonight, Tyson will try to redefine his prize-fighting status. Can this be the night of his boxing redemption? The fight is on. For Lennox Lewis, the champion who has proven his ability in the ring. But Lewis himself has also seen his path to the top take a turn for the worse. Most recently, between a rock and a mat place. However, he always answered his critics by avenging his losses.
It's over. Lennox Lewis got revenge.
The question of his greatness has always come down to his opponents. And tonight, Lennox Lewis faces what he considers the last man standing in his era.
Mike Tyson, you could say this is the last misfit in my era.
Can Lewis finally gain the respect that he truly deserves as the heavyweight champion of the world? Can he once and for all silence his detractors by defeating another notable opponent? Tonight, it is on.
Lennox, I'm coming for you.
You want it? Come and get it.
No more talking. No more waiting. Lewis versus Tyson.
Yes, the fight is on. Heavyweight champion Lennox Lewis against former champion Mike Tyson. Moments from now, both fighters will be entering the ring. Then you'll find out once and for all whether Lennox Lewis can take the punch and physically dominate Mike Tyson, or whether Tyson can regain the form and self-control which once made him the most feared champion in the sport. Lewis versus Tyson is being brought to you by The Pyramid, Memphis. Brewery Fresh Budweiser, the undisputed, undefeated king of beers. This Bud's for you. And by America Online. So easy to use, no wonder it's #1. And during tonight's show, at keyword Lewis Tyson is on, America Online members will be able to get information, predict who will win tonight's main event, and vote during the fight on who you think is winning. So log on now to cast your vote for Lennox Lewis or Mike Tyson. We are now minutes away from one of the great spectacles in sport, the entrances of fighters in a heavyweight championship bout. The walkouts of Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson will have special intrigue because this fight has been so anticipated. Plus, you can never forget the unpredictability of Mike Tyson. The crowd is indeed pumped up to see what could be a display of tremendous punching power. Among the notables who are here to watch this boxing match, again, celebrities from everywhere. Oscar winner Denzel Washington, Tommy Hearns, powerful himself in his day, Gregory Hines, and a guy who's enjoying a skyrocketing career, The Rock. Chris Webber from the Sacramento Kings came so close to knocking off the Lakers, along there with Tyra Banks. Roy Jones Jr. still with lightning quick hands. Vince McMahon, I guess you can call him an athlete as well. Donald Trump, the ever-present Donald Trump. And to the right there, Wesley Snipes, the actor, as well as Kevin Bacon to his left, and the guy who always follows boxing, Magic Johnson. And good evening once again, everyone. I'm James Brown. A pleasure to have you alongside as we get set for this main event here. I am pleased to be joined by the former heavyweight champion, Evander Holyfield, as we are just, again, as I said, moments away from the fight that has been the subject of much debate, and certainly the efforts to bring it to fruition have been fraught with controversy. Evander, let's get right to it. You have fought both Tyson and Lewis. You beat Tyson twice. It was a draw and a loss to Lennox Lewis, yet you're decidedly picking Mike Tyson. Why?
Well, styles make fight. I truly believe that Tyson's styles offset Lennox Lewis' style. Lennox Lewis is a skillful boxer, but he very unpredictable. He's very passionate. He don't have the passion or the fire that to dictate the pace.
Even if a guy is coming at him aggressively like we expect Tyson to, you wouldn't expect Lennox Lewis to be passive then, would you?
Well, you wouldn't expect him to see, but Tyson throw a lot of punches. It's not going to be just one punch. I'm sure that Tyson going to throw a lot of combinations. And styles do make fights. When you go to the body and the head, the man that retrieving back tend to get hit with 2 or 3 other punches that one may throw.
Okay, let's make no mistake about it. Lennox Lewis is a champion, a guy who has a very powerful jab. So what will be Tyson's most effective weapon against Lennox Lewis?
Well, actually, it's his bobbing and weaving. His bobbing and weaving, jumping in there off key. Tyson's kind of orthodox when he moves back and forth. He's not on a really account. And then once he come into, he explodes into you. He bend down and he jump out just like a cobra. When you look at it, he's on top of you. He throwing the 2 or 3 shots in, and this is how he usually get one of the shots in.
As if I haven't heard you, and I did. I mean, with all due respect, you beat Tyson twice, as I mentioned before. You weren't able to get through and penetrate against Lennox Lewis. So what is it that Tyson will bring to the table that you weren't able to against Lennox Lewis?
Well, Tyson got a lot of springs in the leg. He got quicker steps. Tyson, he'll leap off that. I don't jump off the mat. Tyson will. Tyson take more chances than I take, and he may throw the right hand. He may throw the left hook. And if he can't reach, he'll jump up in the air and catch you. So, he's unpredictable. And so a man that takes chances is always going to connect on one eventually.
You looked awfully sharp last week against Hasim Rahman. We know you have a lot at stake tonight, so we'll be watching with interest as well as you. Evander, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, partner. Folks, Here are the results of who you at home think will win tonight's Lennox Lewis-Mike Tyson fight. As you take a look, it is interesting. As we've gotten closer to fight time, more people have swung in Tyson's corner. As you heard Evander Holyfield said, 54% favor Mike Tyson will take the title from Lennox Lewis. And remember to vote round by round on who you think is actually winning the fight. We'll give you results throughout the night's fight. And now downstairs once again to the guys who will be calling the action, Jim Lampley and Bobby Ches.
All right, thank you very much, JB. Well, Bobby, you need not be a Harvard graduate to know that Mike Tyson is going to come to the center of the ring and attack. Emmanuel Stewart and everybody else in Lennox Lewis camp says that Lewis is going to go straight at him and try to preempt Mike's aggression with his own aggression. That means this could be a brief, blazing combustion. Is that the fight you expect to see?
How could you not after hearing that from both people? Mike Tyson fights in one direction forward and one speed very fast. If Lennox Lewis does what Emmanuel Stewart said, comes out looking to get his pound of flesh, looking to get his respect and put some hurt on Tyson, they have to meet in the middle of the ring and there has to be an explosion. I think early, the first 2 minutes of the first round, maybe even the first 2 or 3 rounds, this fight has to be explosive. If someone's still standing after that, it may level off. I just don't think so.
Good seats still available, but it's getting late. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape now for Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson. Both of them getting up in years. Lewis will be 37 later this year. Tyson will be 36 at midsummer. 6-inch height advantage on paper for Lewis. Some suspect it's even bigger than that. 13-inch reach advantage for Lewis. An advantage when he's outside, but can Mike get inside of that big reach advantage? And the unofficial weights, I say unofficial, well, let's call them the official weights, because this was done on the Tennessee scale. 249.25 for Lewis, 234.5 for Tyson. Both camps agree, as we've told you, that the scale was off 6 or 7 pounds heavy. They say Lewis weighs in the range of 243. Tyson, 234. Not that, but rather about 227 or 228. Rules of the bout with Bobby Ches.
Thank you, Jim. This fight will use the rules of the Association of the Boxing Commissions. Scoring is a 10-point must system with no standing 8 and no 3 knockdown rule. The fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. Only the referee can stop the fight. And in case of an accidental foul, we go to the scorecards after round number 4.
As the challenger for the crown, Mike Tyson will walk out first.
This is the fucking shit I be talking about. Half-rapping ass motherfuckers.
And here comes Iron Mike.
You think it's a fucking game? Come on. Come on. What y'all got? What y'all got? Come on, ride or die. Hey yo, what's my name? DMX and I be the best. You see the rest, they looking like they need a rest. One more time, I'ma spit at you some shit that's gonna get at you, be fucking with your mind. Stop talking shit, cause you out there running your mouth, really don't know who you fucking with. Here we go again. How many times do I have to tell you rap niggas I have no friends? You still acting up, running around here like some brand new pussy that's about to get fucked.
Lieutenant, Lieutenant.
Get out of the way. Get out of the way.
Showtime, Lieutenant. Lieutenant. Are we ready?
Not ready.
2 and 4. What we agreed to. 2 and 4. Who are they?
Right, you gotta go.
No, he told me to go up front. Mike told me to go.
2 and 4.
He's ready to go.
Ring, man.
Okay.
Go.
Let us go. Let us go.
Right now, there is a dispute between Mike Tyson's camp and security forces who are telling Tyson that only 2 corner people and 4 extras, a total of 6 people, can walk with him to the ring. There's a much larger number of people accompanying Tyson out of his dressing room, and security people are saying, no, you can only have 6. That accounts for the delay. The lyrics for the accompaniment here, an assault on normal standards of decency, right out of Mike's post-news conference tirade from January 22. just a thumbnail judgment, Bobby, based on what we've seen here the past few days. The crowd in the arena overwhelmingly in favor of Mike Tyson.
You know, Mike Tyson, love him or hate him, he's exciting. He's what boxing wants and has always wanted. The blood, the crunching punches. He's exciting and devastating. That's what they want.
And just as was the case when first he burst on the scene 16 years ago, he enters adorned only by a towel with a hole in it, black trunks, black shoes, no socks.
Vintage Mike Tyson.
So the man who once was the youngest heavyweight champion in history now will try to regain the title at the advanced age of 35. This is the first time in history that two fighters over the age of 35 have met each other for the heavyweight championship of the world. It's also the first time in 92 years since 1910, Jack Johnson versus James Jeffries, that the fighters will not touch gloves in the center of the ring prior to a heavyweight championship fight. And here comes Lennox Lewis.
We're gonna chase those crazy ballers out of town.
The accompanying music, a tribute to Lewis's Jamaican heritage. He is really a man of three countries, Jamaica, Canada, and Great Britain.
But not in the U.S., so they're not going to give him too many claws here.
Although he spends more time in Miami Beach than anywhere else. But then a lot of Europeans are in that camp.
Now you look at me with that scorn, then you heat up all my corn. We're gonna chase those crazy, chase them crazy, chase those crazy ballers out of town. Still a little bit, still stop, still till you don't stop, still let up. Build your penitentiary, we build your schools, brainwash education to make us the fools. Hatred you reward for our love, telling us of your God above. We gonna chase those crazy, chase those crazy bumpers, chase those crazy ballers out of the yard.
Who are they? Somebody speak up. We got them. Speak up. Yes. Which one? All these people not going through there. Which one? You pick them out.
Now here comes the debate about which six people will actually accompany Lewis on his walk into the ring.
Well, what's good for the goose has to be good for the gander. Can't have it one way and not the other.
Absolutely right. Crowd inside the arena, wondering what caused the delay, maybe thinking that Lewis has been slow to exit the dressing room, but of course he's right on cue. So often in sports, championship teams try to develop the psychology that they haven't gotten respect for their accomplishments and therefore still have great incentive. What's happening in this arena is a mark of disrespect to a guy who's won the heavyweight championship 3 times.
You know what? You can never tell. Fans are funny. People are funny. They're only as good as yesterday, and if they didn't like you yesterday, you're no good.
So Emmanuel Stewart goes in first, and Lennox Lewis steps between the ropes. We'll give you one overhead look at the most unusual ring setup in the recent history of boxing, as Mike Tyson and Lennox Lewis are separated by a cordon of security forces. And now ring announcers Timmy Lennon Jr. and Michael Buffer will start it off.
Memphis, Tennessee. It is time for our historic night of boxing and our long-awaited, much-anticipated featured bout of the evening. This bout coming your way is brought to you by Lion Promotions, Main Events, and Fight Night, Inc. in association with Prize Fight Promotions, as presented by the undisputed King of Beers, Budweiser.
Boxing fans, the moment we've all been waiting for is here. It's the Rumble on the River. Tonight here in Memphis, Tennessee, we will turn the page to another chapter in the history book of boxing legends. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event. 12 rounds of boxing for the linear, legitimate, and universally recognized, undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. Sanctioned by the World Boxing Council, the International Boxing Federation, the International Boxing Organization, and the great state of Tennessee.
Representing the WBC, President Jose Suleiman, Supervisors General Kovid Paktipum and Rex Ross Walker. For the IBF President Marion Muhammad, Supervisor Linda Torres. The IBO President and Supervisor Ed Levine, and the Tennessee Commerce and Insurance Commissioner is Ann Pope.
The three judges assigned to ringside scoring this contest on the 10 points must system are from South Africa, Alfred Bukwana, from Thailand, Anik Hongtongkam, and from Belgium, Bob Logis. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action from the United States, Eddie Cotton.
All right, fans, here we go with the main event of the evening. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, the time for talk is over. The time to fight is here. It's the time we've all been waiting for. Live from the Pyramid in Memphis, it's fight time! Introducing to you first the challenger on my right. He is fighting out of the blue corner, entering the ring wearing his traditional solid black trunks and hailing from Catskill, New York. He weighed in at 234.5 pounds with a record of 49 wins, 3 losses, 2 no contests. He has 43 big wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the youngest man ever to win the heavyweight title, currently ranked the #1 contender by the WBC. Please welcome tonight's challenger, the explosive 2-time heavyweight champion of the world, introducing the one and only Iron Mike Tyson.
And hiding out of the red corner, wearing white, trimmed with red letters, and officially weighing 249.25 pounds. He captured Olympic gold in 1988. Now, as a professional, he has 39 victories, including 30 knockouts and 3 world titles. He has 2 defeats and a draw, all by way of rematch have been changed to victories, making him one of the few men in boxing history to have virtually defeated every man he has ever faced. Ladies and gentlemen, from London, England, presenting the 3-time world champion, the linear, legitimate, and universally recognized, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Lennox Lewis. fighters now step forward when the bell rings. Only one will be Destiny's hero. Only one will pass from heavyweight greatness to heavyweight legend. So now there's only one thing left to say. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
19 years ago, 17-year-old Lennox Lewis, then a Canadian amateur star, was taken to upstate New York to spar with 16-year-old Mike Tyson. They lived in the same room for a week, sparred every day in the gym. As Lewis puts it, he bloodied my lip and I busted up his mouth. Now they get together again as professionals, as Tyson's late trainer Casamayor had predicted they would. And here we go. Tyson jabbing and moving his head early.
Tyson working in behind the double jab. That's what he said he was going to get back to.
Lewis with his own jab, but punching from the back seat. Backing up a little, unlike what Manny Stewart told him to do. Big uppercut for Lewis. He thinks Tyson's hurt.
What happened there? Mike charged a little prematurely. Got off balance and Lennox took his shot.
It's been a long time since Mike Tyson has been hit with a puncher who has the kind of power Lennox Lewis has. Tyson gets in a left hook. Lewis counters with a right as Tyson misses wildly with a second left.
Lennox is going to have to hold on, but Mike's coming in behind punches. Look, you're going to see a lot of this fight. The attrition factor is going to become big. Lennox is going to lean on Mike, try and frustrate and hold him, tie him up excessively.
All right, stop it. Come on, stop it. Come on.
Tyson trying to get to Lewis's body with the left hook. Lewis wrapping Tyson up when he gets inside. No expert expected Lewis to try to fight inside with Tyson.
Right now, Lewis isn't trying to fight at all. He's just trying to sort of thwart the punches by stepping in them and smothering them, and then hold on.
Jab by Lewis. Tyson rocks him with a left hook. Lewis doing a lot of holding in the first minute and 40. Tyson half blocked Lewis's right-hand shot. Mike not jabbing his way in, though, Bobby, just walking in.
Well, he's trying to jab his way in, but he's trying to get the right hand to land somewhere, too, to hurt Lennox so he can get the left-hand combination following.
Big left hand by Tyson after the jab by Lewis.
And he worked that hook off a jab.
This time it's Tyson who grabs Lewis as Lennox was about to fire the uppercut.
Lennox is looking to try and time Mike with that right hand. There you saw it. But Lennox is backing up a little too much.
Big right hand over the top by Lewis. Grabs Tyson as Mike falls inside.
Lennox is laying on the back of Mike's neck quite a bit. He'll be telling on Mike's back later in the fight.
One punch at a time. Neither fighter has put together a coherent combination in the first round.
This man ain't much of a fighter. Just settle down. If you really would see how bad he looks, it would be surprising. Settle down, get yourself together, start working your jab. You took all of the anger and slowed him down already by wrestling and tying him up. Okay? Just take your time. Don't let him fight the fight that he's trying to make you fight. Take your time, get to work with your jab. If you hit him with the right hands and uppercut, just slow down.
Maybe two. If you can get two in, that's fine, okay? But don't let this guy try to tire you out. Relax yourself. I'm telling him.
Just stay cool.
We hollering at him, okay? Okay, just relax yourself, baby. That was a good round. You won the first round, okay?
Double jab like we worked on, step up and control the second jab. You got
Every time to get one. Now look, start using your face now. He's trying to load up with his right hands on that. He can try to come on top first and then uppercut, okay? Be fast, baby. Be fast.
Tyson, concerned between rounds about Lewis holding him and putting his weight on him, asked Ronnie Shields to talk to referee Eddie Cotton. Shields just turned around and made that comment to Cotton, who ignored him and said, "Come back and fight."
Well, the first round, Mike was technically the effective aggressor because Lewis wasn't really aggressive. He threw more punches. He landed a few more. Got to give him the first round, but not by a lot.
And now the crowd approves as Cotton warns Lewis for holding. The first warning.
Nice and easy, Mike. Nice and easy. Come on.
Uppercut. Half blocked.
Yeah, the uppercut landed on the elbow of Mike coming in because he got his hands tight. Even there, not really hitting a lot on the way in. It seems that Lennox is more concerned with finding which arm to grab first rather than get his punches in.
Jab by Lewis. He hasn't really gotten it going. Now he starts to work in rhythm. Tyson lunging, firing with the left hook. Lewis was gone.
Pick it up. Nice and easy. Come on, pick it up.
Tyson fighting at a measured pace, not the whirlwind that some expect. Lewis seems to believe that the uppercut is going to be a big weapon for him here.
It has to be. The big man gets leverage with the uppercut. Mike's coming in, he's ducking down under the punches, or walk right into it. But there, Mike, even with the double jab that he's short, he needs to throw the right hand. As Lennox dips with that right uppercut, Mike needs to fire a straight right hand. It would catch Lennox on the way in.
Lennox seems so eager to throw the uppercut that he may throw it from outside. That can be a mistake if your opponent counters it with the right timing. And Eddie Cotton warning Lewis a second time about holding. Point deductions could be coming.
He hit Mike with that uppercut clean, rocked Mike's head.
Get out!
The uppercut is good. Lewis's more dangerous right-hand punch is the overhand right. That's his bigger bomb. As round two progresses, Mike Tyson is falling into a pattern of lunging and throwing one punch at a time, Bobby.
He's not using the jab. There he's trying to use it, but not using it well. He's got to step to it. He can't worry if the jab lands. It's just got to get him to the inside where he's got to fire the right to the body, to the jaw, and follow with the left.
At that time, as they joined together, Lewis held his arms in the air as if to say, "I'm not the one who's holding, Eddie." Uppercut and a left hook from Lewis. He doesn't throw it all that often.
Threw a nice right hand uppercut, and the left hook was beautiful. Mike put it on the chin very well. But this round is all Lennox Lewis.
All Lennox Lewis in round two, and increasingly so as the round progressed.
Okay, look, champion, look, listen to me. Remember I told you, you cannot let this man throw too many jabs at you without you coming back with something, right? Okay, look, you started using your feints, but you quit jabbing. You have to be in this man's chest. You understand? Make this a very ugly fight now, okay? I want you right
after the changes. He's slowing down real bad.
35? It's 35 that round. Left hand. Keep your hands
Work
up.
Work the jab. The jab is pumping now. The jab is pumping. That's what you waited for. Right there.
Keep your hands up, baby. Keep
fighting
your right
a masterpiece that round. Dude, you're on your way.
Mouthpiece. Here you go. Here you
You're
go.
on your way, baby.
Seconds out!
Round three begins. After seeming to control the tempo in round one, Mike Tyson slowed considerably in round two. Lennox Lewis got his jab working. You heard Emmanuel Stewart say, "Just keep it up."
Lennox Lewis made the adjustments in the second round. Now Mike needs to remake adjustments on his side.
Now Lewis not holding, but rather just pushing Tyson off.
Right, Mike's got to come back in behind the jab and fire. He can't just try and hit him with the jab. The jab is not meant to just be a point getter for Mike. It's meant to close the distance and put something in Lennox's face to worry about.
Punch out, get out.
And you heard Ronnie Shields say, "Get into his chest and make it an ugly fight." The more they fight from this range, the more Lewis's chances increase.
All right, stop. Stop that.
Mike can't win the fight at that distance. If Lennox Lewis can set the distance of this fight, Mike has no chance. He has to shut the gap down, get inside, bring the fight to where he's comfortable.
Does he look eager enough to do it?
Mike looks like he's waiting too much. It doesn't look like he's found his rhythm. Lennox Lewis's jab is finding his mark more and more often.
Lewis picking Mike Tyson off with the jab as Mike tries to step in, able to keep Tyson at long range so far in round 3.
Get out. Come on.
Lewis no longer seems to be trying to hit Tyson with anything big, Bobby. He's just tapping him.
Well, the jab is a pretty stiff jab, not a real shotgun jab, but it's a pretty stiff jab. Popping Mike's head up, and then when he comes in, Mike, he just ties him up.
Come on. Stop it.
You can almost see Lewis trying to fight his natural tendency to go backward. His mind wants to go forward, his body wants to lean back.
And I sometimes think his body wants to go forward, his mind keeps pulling his body back because he's worried about getting hit with those shots.
There is blood around the right eye of Mike Tyson. Tyson blinking a little bit and looking momentarily distracted by what seems to be a nick somewhere near his right eye. That would be the product of Lewis's jab. And there's a huge left hook by Tyson, but Lewis took it well.
Lewis took it well. Didn't seem to be anything there.
Stop punching.
That was Mike's best punch of the fight, but the Lewis chin held up. And now Tyson begins to paw at the blood on his right eye, and Lewis busts him with the right hand. Look at Lewis dropping his hands to his waist.
Let's go. Pick up.
Well, you know what?
Come on, let's go.
More than one man has gotten cocky and lost because of it. Not the time or the man to do it against.
That's where Lewis was holding his hands when Hasim Rahman knocked him out in South Africa.
I rest my case.
As Tyson goes to the corner, his cut man is Dr. Ira Traki, a far superior choice to what was the case in Tokyo against James Buster Douglas, where Tyson's eyes swelled while his corner fiddled.
Okay, Mike, you're fine, Mike. You got to relax yourself.
Give me a towel to wipe him.
Give me a towel.
Real relax.
Okay, nice and relaxed. Now, Mike, look, listen to me. Now, look, you let this guy have his way on the outside. You understand? Don't let this man have his way on the outside. You got to be close to this man. You understand? You got to stay close. And when you get close, shoot your uppercuts and go to the body with this man. Okay? Use your feet.
He can't deal with nothing coming to him. This fight's gonna be over with if you do. You sit down and get yourself together.
Drink.
You can't just be retentive just to do this shit and do this. And shoot that damn uppercut some. The man is tired.
Watch Lennox Lewis use that jab really effectively. Popping Mike right on the eye. Popping Mike right off the side of the head. That jab very effective in that round, and the round previous probably is what opened that cut.
So as round 4 begins, Lennox Lewis has gotten the fight to go in the direction he wanted it to go. But Emmanuel Stewart still didn't seem happy between rounds. And Tyson again lands a left hook, but again Lewis is unfazed. Jab. Uppercut. That's been the Lewis pattern.
Lewis is fighting a smart fight, jabbing and tying Mike up on the inside. Jab on the wing, get the points. And hit him with the right hand.
Right cross landed flush for Lewis. But Tyson took it well. He's got a good chin, Bobby.
Mike's got a good chin. He's pretty tough. You're not going to stop him in one shot. I don't think so. I really don't.
Another solid right cross, though. You can't take too many of those.
You sure can't. Not from a man who weighs 250 pounds.
Tyson misses the left hook. Lewis counters effectively with the right. Big round for Lewis so far. Body shot by Lennox Lewis.
I think right now Mike Tyson's a little bit dazed. I think he's extremely confused.
He's not blocking Lewis's right hand, Bobby. Now some head movement. Tyson's confidence ebbing, Lewis's seeming to grow.
Mike seems to be loading up just a little too much, Jim. He's taking a fraction of the speed of his punches, giving Lennox enough time to cover up. There Mike came in with a jab and didn't do anything behind it. No hook, no right hand, no body work.
One punch at a time by Tyson. Another right hand lands flush and an uppercut as Lewis just as he did with Michael Grant, effectively held Tyson's head in position with his left hand and hit him with the right.
And that is illegal. I'm surprised the referee didn't say anything. You can't do that, but it's done and over with.
If we can see it, we know Eddie Cotton can see it. Jab, jab. Tyson trying to duck inside, but not able to creatively attack.
Mike's not throwing enough punches. He wouldn't be able to tie his hands up if they were moving.
Another right hand flush. That one missed. Tyson lunging with the left hook. Lewis blocked it. Lands another right hand.
There were two right hands. They both would have just barely missed the mark. They glanced off each other's shoulders. That would have been explosive.
Bobby, is Mike becoming increasingly vulnerable to these right hands because of the cut on his eye?
I don't think it's the cut on his eye. I think he's confused. I think he's not making the adjustments. Mentally, it's not clicking in what he needs to do.
And more. Down goes Tyson. It's not going to be ruled a knockdown because Eddie Cotton is going to say that Lewis was holding him while he hit him. Lawrence Cole, what's the ruling here?
He got pushed down, so that would not be a knockdown. He leaned on his back after that punch was gone, and then he pushed him down. Oh, they're dicked up in a point.
And now Eddie Cotton is going to deduct a point.
He hit him in the back.
Lewis
the point was for hitting him in the back, I believe. He hit Mike, he helped push Mike down, and then he hit him in the back.
So Lewis loses a point.
Don't turn it by him. Get this motherfucker out of here, man.
Listen to Emmanuel.
He's ready to get caught with some crazy shit. Step it up, the man is finished.
Put them shits together, baby.
You ain't never took it to himself. Get your hands.
You cannot just run in. The right hand is down. When he jab, throw the right hand and no hook behind it. Okay? Just give me a deep breath, champ. Okay? You can give me another round like that.
Watch Lennox Lewis on the way in. Mike bends. Now he's on the top of him, and he punches him in the back as he pushed him down a little bit. The weight of a 250-pound man, a little tough. Here you see him, look, jump on the back of his neck, push him down, and hit him in the back. That's a foul. Technically, that's a clean foul. I mean, that punch was nowhere near hitting legal territory.
But in the round, Lennox Lewis landed a series of right-hand shots, and Mike Tyson did all but nothing.
Mike Tyson right now is having problems adjusting. This round is going to be indicative of how this fight could turn out. If Mike Tyson can come back in this round.
Tyson tries to counter Lewis's jab with a right hand, misses wildly. Lewis on target with another combination. Bobby, how do you have it scored so far?
Well, I had first round for Mike, the next three for Lennox Lewis, but because he lost the point, he's only ahead by 1 point. The last round I would have given him, but it drew even when they took the point away.
Now there's blood on Tyson's left eye. So both eyes are bleeding.
Hey, stop punch. Come on, let's go, get up.
Lewis, jab. Tyson, not busy.
Mike is resorting. You see Mike resorting to just bending and looking to leap in with a punch. David Tua made the same mistake. Mike's supposed to work him behind the jab. The jabs don't even have to land. He's got to hit him.
Cut by Lewis. And again, he holds Tyson's head while he hits. And Eddie Cotton says, don't do it.
Look at me. You can hold the punch. Don't do it again. I'm going to take another point away. Let's go, Mike.
Mike Tyson's eyes are in bad shape, Bobby Chaz.
Mike Tyson's eyes are cut. They're starting to swell. Lennox Lewis is having his way. If Mike doesn't start to put some hurt back on Lennox, so he can't stay out there. He's just got a jab, and even if the jab doesn't land, just use it as a gap closer.
But now there's a danger sign for Lewis. With Tyson hurt, Lewis seems to be waiting for one big shot now.
You know what? That's not a smart thing to do. I think he should just work the way he's been working. Work behind the jab like that.
He can win the fight easily just by sticking the jab, or so it would appear. Tyson hasn't looked dangerous for the last couple of rounds. Lewis moving. Tyson finally steps in and fires a body shot.
Mike has no work output right now. He's got to throw punches. He's being outworked and he's being played with. He's being target practice. Not good for Mike Tyson.
Lewis able to load up on the uppercut and still landing it.
He's able to do whatever he wants. Mike's not posing a threat to him at any part of the combination execution.
It is rapidly becoming what some boxing experts predicted might be the case, a technical mismatch between a veteran fighter who's been in the ring the whole time against top opposition and
that has a lot of craft, and another guy who may well have squandered too much of his ability.
You got a dead man in front of you, and you still doing this. Just let that shit go. This fight is over with. You gonna fuck around and let him catch you with some shit if you don't watch. This man is dead out there, but he wants to quit. And you out here playing.
No. Give me all you got one round. Just let me go hands. I just want your hands moving this round. Can you stay close to this man and get your hands moving this round for me?
Mike, you go out, you're fine.
No, I need your hands moving. You got too much distance. You let this guy jab the hell out of you. You got to move your hands. Now we got to win this.
Doing this, the man has said that let this shit go. Right hand over top, right hand uppercut. Stay alert, Lennox. Any long as this fight going, this man is dangerous. You better get him out of here. Right now. Exactly. Goddamn right, man. This is ridiculous. Stay alert. Hands up.
Lennox Lewis unloading at will. Here's a right uppercut that looks like opened the cut over the left eye of Mike Tyson. Turned it up nice and inside and followed with a little short inside right hook.
If Tyson's trainer, Ronnie Shields, seems disappointed and bewildered by his fighter's performance, Emmanuel Stewart is incensed, screaming at Lennox Lewis, you got a dead man in front of you, quit screwing around.
Well, what Emmanuel Stewart says is right to a degree. Not that he's a dead man, but when he has Mike on the ropes, close him out. Don't give him a chance to get back in the fight. He's dangerous at all times.
Now Lewis begins to expend more energy and again fires a right hand down the pipe.
Mike's just not punching. Mike's confused. The jab's in his face. Right hand's behind it. Lennox doing what he wants at his leisure.
How many right crosses can Mike Tyson take? That was big. Boy, Tyson's got a good chin.
Okay. He's hit Mike clean with some big punches, and he's a good puncher, Lennox Lewis. Mike's showing a rock chin.
When he hit David Tua with two of those shots in the first round, Tua didn't want much part of him from that point forward. Crunch with the body shot by Tyson. One punch at a time, though, won't get it done.
It absolutely won't. One and done. He's never going to win this fight.
Lewis misses with that right hand, begins to paw again with the jab, and Emmanuel Stewart gets another stricken look on his face in the Lewis corner.
Lennox Lewis is content right now to just stay outside, stick the jab, and not really try and put a hurting on Mike. And Emmanuel Stewart wants him to finish this.
Target practice. Candy from a baby. This is easy for Lewis. If he doesn't get caught with something big, he's going to walk to victory.
And Mike's going back. And Mike's going back. He's not effective whatsoever.
Step on. Easy, nice and easy. Come on, step back. Come on, step back.
But remember, Tyson remains dangerous. He lost all of the first 4 rounds to Franz Botha on all 3 cards, and then knocked him out with a big shot in the 5th. However, Lewis is no Franz Botha.
Now, Lewis does not have the chin of Botha, but he's also a much better fighter, much better defensive fighter, much better offensive fighter, 10 times more dangerous, and right now, commanding the show.
There's a little mouse under the left eye of Lewis, so Tyson has done some damage with the right hand.
He landed one good right hand, a left uppercut and a right hand over the top a little bit ago, but again, 1 and 2, 1 and done, not enough.
And you wonder how long Mike will be able to see effectively out of 2 eyes that are swelling rapidly. Round 6 of a scheduled 12. Uppercut lands flush again. And again, Lewis had time to load it and fire it.
Mike seems to be befuddled. He seems to be totally confused. And I think just a piece of him has gotten stung.
I think Lewis is waiting in there because he thinks Mike is going to quit.
Keep throwing them damn uppercuts at him. He can't get away from him. Keep shooting uppercuts. What is this coming up?
7-8.
There's no way to where this man should be in here this long. And the longer he's in here, the dangerous it is. They keep working the jab, but you got to add to it. Every time you hesitate, you start to throw the shot, then you hesitate. Let the stop go. The man ain't that dangerous. Finish the shot, go in.
And come back with your right hand. You understand? Let your hands go. That's all we're telling you to do right now. Everybody can't talk in the corner.
You can do it.
One at a fucking time.
You can do it.
Listen,
Mike, don't worry about it.
be fast. You understand me?
Scratch.
Fast.
Lennox loses, standing there, doing what he wants. There's a left and a right hand. Mike offering up almost nothing in return. Same replay, slow-mo. Left hand, right to the temple, and then he just gets out of the way because Mike doesn't counter fast enough and doesn't really counter enough.
Well, if ever Mike Tyson needed one lightning shot, now's the time. Lennox Lewis seemingly building a lead on the scorecards, although with a point deducted for holding and hitting. Bobby, how do you have it through 6?
Well, right now, after 6, I have it 4-1, 1 even, because the 1 even round was the point taken. Lennox was clearly winning the round, but he fouled Mike. Right now, 58-55, it's a 3-point edge. Mike Tyson is quickly approaching the point of no return.
Another good right-hand shot for Lewis. Tyson not doing much of anything. Jab for Lewis. Tyson at range where he can't find it. Another big right hand. Target practice.
Don't show love.
Now Eddie Cotton finds another foul.
Well, Lennox Lewis pushed off with a forearm, which is technically illegal. It's not called an awful lot, but nonetheless illegal.
Biggest upset of the night. Every warning by Cotton so far goes to Lennox Lewis. Mike Tyson hadn't been close to committing a foul.
He really hasn't. He's a little too docile tonight, all the way around. I see no meanness in his eyes.
Now blood trickling from the nose of Tyson, as well as both eyes. Oh, huge right hand by Lewis.
That was mostly blocked by Mike, but he's not offering up anything back. He threw a small left hook to the body, nothing there. Mike Tyson is being dictated to by the all-important Lennox Lewis jab and a good right hand with pinpoint accuracy tonight.
Mike Tyson is being dictated to by craft, technique, professional skill. That's what Lewis has in addition to his size.
And he certainly demonstrated some of the very best of it tonight.
Huge right hands. They're missing, they're glancing blows, but Tyson's doing nothing in return, and the blood and the swelling increasingly distracting to Mike.
Get out. Come on, get out.
I don't know if Mike Tyson has enough energy to do what he's going to need to do to win this fight by decision.
Low blow by Tyson. That's the first time he's had a foul. Eddie Cotton didn't see it.
Eddie Cotton was in a bad position behind Lennox Lewis. But Mike's not looking like he's on sturdy feet right now. His legs are squaring off. They're a little bit rubbery. And right now he is getting teed off on him.
You know, you can't spend 5 years in Class C ball and then go pitch in the World Series. That's what Mike Tyson is finding out right here.
It just doesn't work that way.
Listen to me, champion. No, listen to me. Listen to me.
Why, Mike?
No.
That's for nothing.
No, you understand? Listen to me. You're fighting for the heavyweight championship again. You understand? Not many people can do that. You understand? Now look, I'm not going to sit out there and just let you do this. You understand? You have to throw your punches. You understand? For God's sake, you have 2 hands. You understand? Just let your hands go. Yes, you can. No, let your hands go.
Listen,
I want your hands to move.
You done took this guy's best shot.
This guy got nothing for you.
The guy, you took his best shot. This guy's getting tired. It's time for you to go to work, brother.
Come on, man.
Go to work.
You
took
train
his
hard.
best shot.
Lennox Lewis using that jab and another right hand, left hook behind it, just constantly working a beautiful right hand over the jab. Lennox Lewis keeping Mike at bay with the jab. An overhead view. There's a poke in to the left. There comes the right hand over the jab. Mike not throwing enough punches to make Lennox worry about anything. Lennox doing what he wants.
Occasionally, Lewis has felt a significant punch from Tyson, thus the swelling under the left eye. But basically, Mike has thrown 1 punch at a time, and most of them ineffective. Lewis is the only man in the fight who's landed a combination. There's a 3-punch combination. There's another right cross. Mike just ducking, not firing.
Mike almost appears to be resolved that he's not going to win this fight. Let me just stand here and take one swing here and there, but it doesn't look like he's trying to win. You have to put yourself in a position to win by fighting. He's not fighting.
Ronnie Shields was trying to say to Tyson in a subtle way, that he'll consider throwing in the towel if this gets worse. What a letdown it would be to the Tyson public to see Iron Mike throw in the towel.
There's a beautiful right hand to the body, but he should have come up top with the left hook.
Tyson trying to let his hands go, catches two huge uppercuts. Why did Eddie Cotton pull him off?
And I called him a knockdown. I think he might have grazed the canvas. I'm not sure.
7, 8. You all right, Mike? Come on, you have to go, Mike.
So it's being counted as a knockdown because there's no standing 8 count in effect. Tyson's glove must have been seen to touch the canvas. First knockdown of the fight. Now Lewis goes for the knockout. Hurts Tyson with the right hand. Tyson grabbing and holding on.
Almost half the round is left. I don't know if Mike has enough to keep Lennox off.
Lopsided fight, getting more so. Big shots from Lewis. Tyson gets in an uppercut. Shades of Tokyo and the one time he got the Buster Douglas at the end of the 8th round. And that's going to be perhaps the end of the fight. It'll take some courage for Mike to get up from that shot.
7, 8, 9.
He's out. Lennox Lewis knocks out Mike Tyson and banishes him from the upper stratosphere of the heavyweight division right now.
The worst performance of Mike's life.
He was in against a guy who was way too good.
Last man standing.
Everybody back. Give him some air. Give him some water. Give him some water. Give him some water. Here, Mike. Take some water, Mike.
So even though Emmanuel Stewart thought it should have gone quicker, Lennox Lewis gets the last laugh. His wisdom plays out. He played it coolly in the ring, and he waited until Mike was most vulnerable and took him out.
Lennox didn't take any stupid chances. It's a smart move. It was smart boxing. He dominated Mike from start to finish. Mike never got on track, and Lennox didn't let him get a chance to get in the game.
Would you call that one of the better Lewis's performance you've seen?
That may be the best performance I've seen Lewis to date.
And it answers the question of who's the best heavyweight for now, doesn't it?
It does for me.
Here's the knockout, Bobby.
You watch the right uppercut. He hurts Mike with it, and then hits him with a beautiful left uppercut following. Mike there, I wasn't sure if the right knee touched. I thought it didn't, but evidently Eddie Cotton thought it did. But watch his left uppercut lift up right on Mike's jaw. You see his legs buckle, and I still can't. His knee did not hit the canvas. He does not go down.
Moot point.
He does not go down. There's no standing 8 count. Eddie Cotton made a
if
mistake.
He didn't go down, then in effect the knockdown count was at benefit to Tyson because it gave him a chance to recover.
And here's the end. Mike is caught with another right hand, and this is it. He is done. That one a la Hasim Rahman too.
Well, it took Buster Douglas 10 rounds to knock out Mike Tyson. It took Evander Holyfield 9+. Lennox Lewis gets it done in the 8th.
7+.
7+. And the Lewis right hand now ranks as the dominant weapon in the heavyweight division, as he showed tonight.
That he did, and he has just done a lot to seal his legacy in the Hall of Fame for the future.
Walking past us right now, a very happy Violet Lewis, Lennox's mother, who's been with him all the way through his championship run. Lennox Lewis, world junior champion, Olympic gold medalist, 3-time heavyweight champion, knockout conqueror of Mike Tyson. What else could he prove, Bobby?
Right now, there's not much he can prove. I'm sure he wants to be undisputed one more time. I'm not sure the winner of Ruiz and Kirk Johnson will face him, but I bet you that's what comes out of his mouth in the interview.
He'd be a heavy favorite over either. Here are the official particulars.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight here in Memphis, Tennessee, the legacy of a 3-time heavyweight champion has been embraced as the referee reaches the count of 10 at 2 minutes, 25 seconds of round number 8. The winner by knockout victory, and still the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, the pride of Great Britain, Lennox Lewis.
Come on up. Okay, thank you very much. Lennox, Mike, if you can come on over here.
One more
Gentlemen.
replay look at the crunching right hand, which ended the evening for Mike Tyson and gave Lennox Lewis the biggest, gaudiest, showiest victory of his career. There were those who thought that Lewis didn't prove enough with his decision against Holyfield. Let's see what they think now. And let's go into the ring where Jim Gray is standing by with Lennox Lewis.
All right, thank you very much, Jim. Lennox, congratulations to you. You dominated this fight. Was that what you had anticipated?
Yeah, basically, I just wanted to stay to the game plan, use my jab. I kind of, the first round was a bit rough for me because I never settled down. Manny told me to settle down a bit more. And actually, Manny told me to take him out like the fourth round, but still, I just wanted to soften him up a bit more with my jab. But he was still determined, he was still tough. And he can take a hell of a punch because I hit him with some great punches, and boy, he can take him, for real.
We have Mike Tyson here as well. Mike, have you changed your opinion now of Lennox Lewis?
Well, no. Believe it or not, I've known Lennox for like 15, 16 years. We've always been friends, but in competition, in competition, the best man has to win. We have to do everything we can. I'm happy for him to give me a fight. The payday was wonderful. I really appreciate it. And if you could be kind enough, I'd love to do it again. I think I could beat you if we try one more time.
Mike, what gives you any indication that you could beat him after this performance? And was it a lack of quality opponents going into this that hurt you?
I explained before I needed 2 more fights or 3 more fights to fight him. But I believe if I would have took that route, the fight probably would have never happened. He wouldn't have waited for me. And again, he was just splendid, a masterful boxer. I just take my hand off to you. And just please, if you can give me one more chance, I'd be greatly appreciative.
Are you interested in that at all, based on the way you controlled this fight?
I just wanted to complete my legacy. Everybody was saying that, this fight is going to count on my legacy. So I just wanted to prove to the people that, I'm the best fighter in the world, on the planet. No guy tests this, man.
You proved that right now. You were quite annoyed. You had some very derogatory things to say about Mike coming into this fight. You said you had to win this fight to clean up boxing. Do you feel you've accomplished that?
Well, I showed boxing, who's the best in the world. I went out there and showed them I'm a pugilist specialist. I can adapt to any style. And, he showed me one style that a lot of people didn't think I was going to be able to deal with. But I was able to deal with it. A lot of people thought he was going to get away from my jab, but nobody gets away from my jab.
Mike, you behaved tonight. Everybody.
Biggest fans, brother.
Manny Stewart, say that again.
I was telling Mike, I'm still one of his biggest fans. He's given me so many thrills, man. Go back to Roderick Moore, you remember?
My friend Roderick.
Mike,
you've given all of us a lot of excitement. Most
Thank you.
Heavyweight in the last 50 years.
Thank you very much. It was just beautiful. I'm just so happy you gave me a chance. Nobody wanted to give me a chance. Don King didn't want to give me a chance. I'm just happy someone gave me a chance.
I don't know what it is. You still can punch.
Thank you very much.
The champ and Mike, how sorry are you guys that this fight did not occur many years ago when you were at your best and probably you weren't quite as old either?
Well, the funny thing about that is, heavyweights mature at different times. I would say Mike Tyson matured at 19. Nothing was standing in his way at that time. He ruled the planet at that time. But I'm like fine wine. I come along later on, and I learned my art, and I went along and just took my time, and I came along and just ruled. I'm ruling now.
Mike, are you sorry this fight didn't take place years ago?
It wasn't meant to be. I've known Lennox ever since he was 16, 15 years old. I have mad respect. Everything I said was in proposition for promoting the fight. He knows I love him and his mother, and I know if he thinks I don't have respect and don't love him, he's crazy.
So you're saying a lot of the behavior, Mike, is just to sell tickets, and that doesn't represent your true feelings?
Well, he knows who I am, and he knows I'm not disrespectful. I respect this man as a brother. He knew me ever since his friend Bernie and Cuss were together, and he knows I have the much respect for him. Like I said before, he's a magnificent, a prolific fighter, and he should continue fighting. I would just love for him to give me another shot.
How important was it for you tonight, Mike, to come out here and be a sportsman and behave in the ring?
Oh, no, it was very, but I said I love and respect him too much to do anything disrespectful to him. And he knows that. And for him to think that is absolutely crazy.
Mike, we appreciate your time. You're most gracious in defeat tonight, and I think a lot of fans out there will appreciate the way that you've handled yourself tonight after some disappointing moments and some behavior in the past that hasn't been very well at all.
Excuse me.
Lennox, what now happens for you? Where do you go now? You've basically proven everything. You've beaten everybody. You've avenged the losses you've had, and you've conquered the man who you said would make your legacy. What now?
Well, I'm going to take one day at a time, see what happens after this. I just wanted to complete this goal. Everybody was asking me what I'm going to do after this fight, but I'm the best fighter in the world. I just wanted to prove that to the whole planet, and I'm going to take one day at a time.
When he bit you, what was your reaction back on January 22nd, and did you think this one was going out the window?
Shit, I was shocked, because I'm saying we're two fighters. We're going to fight it out. Why not? Let's fight it out. But the man grabbed my leg and bit it. I was shocked, and then in some way I thought he was trying to get out of the fight. But then I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get him back in the fight, Biting was first blood. I got second blood tonight.
Well, let's take a look at that second blood. We have a chance to look down at the monitor. If you'll jump forward here for us and tell us what happened on the knockout punch. He had already gone down with the standing 8 count.
I was noticing he was ducking to his left, to my right, and I just wanted to catch him as he was doing that. And I caught him right on the chin, and he went down. But I'm telling you, some of those punches I caught him on the right side, he took like a man, and I was shocked that he was able to take him because I felt him right through my hand.
Were you surprised that he was only one punch and out tonight, that he put together no combinations?
No, I'm thinking that Mike Tyson at his best. I'm in there not taking no chances, just waiting for my time and just going about my sport as a pugilist specialist.
Would you give him a rematch? Is that a legitimate request after this?
Well, he's asked for one. I definitely would consider it, but it depends what the people want. I'm going to take one day at a time. Emmanuel Stewart, the best trainer in the world. No guy tests this trainer.
Last question. Possible retirement? Might this have been the crowning achievement and you'll say goodnight?
Yes, possible. Anything is possible. Big up all crew.
Lennox Lewis, congratulations to you. Terrific fight tonight. Okay. All right, Jim Lampley, let's go back down to you.
Thank you, Jim. And Bobby, let's out our voices on one subject. Mike Tyson came in here, fought a clean, sportsmanlike fight, was utterly sportsmanlike in the ring afterward. What an amazing shot. Mike wiping the blood off of Lennox's cheek while Lennox answered one of Jim Gray's questions. Credit to Tyson for being a real man in there.
Credit to Tyson for being a real sportsman, being humbled. He, much like myself, is humbled by Lennox Lewis. Lennox knows that I picked Mike. Mike knows I picked Mike. You know I picked Mike. Lennox Lewis today was the epitome of the sweet science. And I've always said, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, and a fighter with something to prove. Lennox had something to prove, and he proved it tonight in blazing glory.
After this, given the fact that the contract allows for a rematch, either next or after one more fight for Lewis if he chooses, now that Lewis has the confidence of having done this, what chance is there that the rematch could be competitive?
I think the rematch might be a little more competitive because Mike wasn't expecting what he got. Now he might be able to make some of those adjustments that he and his corner weren't able to make in the first few rounds, which is what led him constantly getting punished and eventually knocked out.
But he's going to have to go back to throwing combinations. He's going to have to be much more disciplined in punching to the body. He's going to have to be a lot better.
I completely agree, and I think if he looks at that tape, just my simple call of working behind the jab, even if it doesn't land, will shut down that distance, put a hand in Lewis's face to worry about and deal with, go to the body, but then come immediately up. That's the only way he can win against big men. Only way.
Well, it was one thing for Lewis to avenge his defeat to Hasim Rahman by knocking Rahman out in November. It was spectacular, but a lot of people thought, well, of course, he was supposed to do that before in South Africa. But a lot of people didn't think that Lennox Lewis could attack and destroy against a machine like Mike Tyson. And now Lewis has answered all of those doubters as well. Another big right hand from Lewis, similar to the one that finished Rahman. And now Mike Tyson has a lot to think about as he goes off into the darkness of this latest bad night. As Tyson falls and the count reaches 10, let's go back upstairs to James Brown.
All right, Jim and Bobby Chaz, thank you guys so very much. We are blessed to be joined by one of the sharpest minds, if not the fastest hands in the business, Roy Jones Jr. Your insight absolutely always on the mark. First of all, let me do it in reverse order. Were you surprised at the graciousness that Tyson displayed toward Lewis at the end?
No, man. I think Tyson deserved to come out and show the world that he's still a man. He, a lot of things Tyson has been accused of, I don't really think that he meant any harm. It's just that Tyson has a legacy. He has a person. He has his character about him that he has to go out and display. He can't let you look at him as some wimp or some nice guy. That was never the Mike Tyson of boxing, so he cannot be that.
So even the crass, vulgar remarks that we heard throughout the promotion around by Tyson, he says aimed at promoting the fight.
I believe that. I dearly believe that because he knows what he was getting himself into. He really, like he said, he needed more time to prepare. That's why he wasn't throwing combinations and bunches tonight. He hasn't had a decent fight since 1997 when he fought Evander Holyfield. He has a lot of turmoil from that time to now. That's a lot of time to not have a competitive heavyweight fight.
As well as Jim Lampley underscored during the bout, you heard Tyson at least twice request another fight from Lennox Lewis. Financially driven or because he firmly believes that he can beat him?
Well, I think it's partially both. Financially driven because that's the biggest fight for him right now. He really feels like, a guy who didn't get a chance. He didn't get a fair opportunity to prepare for this. A lot of it, some of it probably his fault, some of it probably other reasons. But he didn't get the opportunity to really tune himself up and get ready for a Lennox Lewis fight. This is why I predicted if the fight went past 3 rounds, it was Lennox Lewis all day. Lennox has been fighting competitive fights. Tyson hasn't really had a chance to put together a string of competitive victories.
And I guess just to coattail on that, extrapolating it just a bit more, Tyson did say after the Brian Nielsen fight, of the Danish pastry, if you will, that he did in fact need at least 2 more competitive fights before he could step up in quality. Now, if you're Lennox Lewis, you've done it all. What more is there to prove? Should he retire? Should he continue on?
Well, he doesn't really have anything left to prove. He pretty much silenced all the critics tonight. He did everything that he should have done. He fought a very smart fight. He started out a little dangerous because you don't go out and trade with Mike Tyson and you're 6'5", but he pulled himself together. It kind of wore both fighters down, and he was able to pick up his second win a lot quicker than Mike because he's been doing this over the last 5 or 6 years. Mike, like I said again, hasn't had a competitive fight since the Holyfield fight.
Final point. Terrific technician was Lewis in the ring tonight, and a masterful game plan by his trainer, Emmanuel Stewart.
Very masterful game plan. Use the jab, frustrate Mike, keep him on the ropes, keep him backing up, never let him get his balance, never let him put a string of 2 or 3 punches together. That is when he's most dangerous. But by knowing the fact, Emmanuel knowing that Mike has been off so long, he knows that Mike has rust, and that the rust would show up late in the fight. So he wanted to get Lennox through the first few rounds, use the jab, be smart, be patient, and the knockout will come.
I think you know this from me. It's good to see you again, dude.
Thank you so much. It's good to see everybody. All my fans, Roy Jones is coming. I offer Bernard Hopkins $6 million. If he don't take it, he's a punk and he won't fight me. It's simple as that. $6 million is 3 times more than he got to fight against Felix Trinidad. I'm telling you right now, $6 million is on the table. If you want Roy Jones, step up or shut up.
They must have forgot Roy can chat as well, too. Hey, folks, let me just say this real quickly. I'm certainly pleased to have seen the graciousness displayed by Mike Tyson. I consider him a better man for having done that as well. Lennox Lewis, while he may not have captured the public's fancy with his style, a superb champion, and you cannot deny the technical proficiency that he delivers consistently whenever he's in the ring. All right, folks, Lewis versus Tyson has been brought to you by the Pyramid Memphis. Brewery Fresh Budweiser, the undisputed, undefeated king of beers. This Bud's for you. And special thanks to America Online and AOL members for participating in tonight's telecast. We'd also like to thank our internet partners and the following magazine partners. And finally, we'd like to thank our friends at Sanyo Blimp for their aerial coverage of Memphis this evening. And so, for all of us here at the Pyramid in Memphis, Tennessee, this is James Brown saying so long. Our executive producers have been Rick Bernstein and Jay Larkin. Tonight's telecast was produced by Dave Harmon and directed by Mark Payton. Associate producers Brian Lockhart, Cameron Penn, and Betsy Aronin. Feature producers Max Siegel, Gil Knight, and Pete Radovich. Assistants to the producers Aptine Motia and Greg Stern. Production managers Mark Hayden and John McCallie. Technical supervisor Bob Hunter, and the technical director Doug Getz.